Let's try that again. Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday to you. I'm your host, Ab-Stract, and this is the Ab-Stract section. Yeah. Notice my volume wasn't right because, again, had to come home, shower right away, try and prepare for the live stream. Then I was just talking to my twin brother and my boy Aaron, who's also my brother. So, yeah. How are you guys doing this beautiful Wednesday, June 3rd? How you guys doing? I can't really tell if these are clean, though. Hold up. Last thing I want to do is put these on and get some alcohol in my eye. Man, oh, man. Okay. Oh, my gosh. That is crystal clear. Whoo. There we go, baby. Yes, sir. We back in business. This was a goodbye. I knew it would be. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right. Who we got in the chat? Who's here? Who's first? You're only first if you comment. It don't count if you get here and don't say nothing. You're only first to the chat if you comment. That's how we keep score. Hold up. Get the cat back on real quick. Oh my gosh. This thing don't want to play ball. Come on. All right, let's try that again. There we go. All right. Yeah. Let me tune in. First thing is first, I'm hit with an ad on my own stream. Crazy. Make sure to like the video, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Y'all been here long enough. You know to like the video when you first get in here. I don't know why we're playing games. 10 people in here, 3 likes on the video. I'm doing my job. Y'all gotta do y'all job. Like the video, share. Now, who we got? Who was first? Oh, wow. Nick was first? How y'all let Nick be first and Nick ain't been here in about 2 months? Nick, nice to see you. So we got Nick in the chat. We got Muketsu, a.k.a. Zach. We got Tay, laugh my ass off. What's good, Tay? We got Michael. What's good, Michael? We got Kuribo, of course. No sound. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Valkyria in the chat. What's goody? I think I'm deaf because I can't hear anything. Shrug. Never mind. I can hear yays. Yeah. Yeah. The struggles of getting home and then having to immediately shower and prepare for live. I didn't even do my studying tonight or today. I'm supposed to do some studying, but we'll get to that after the live. Hey, yo, bro. What's good, Shinigami? How are you? Hi, Ab-Stract. Hi, chat. Yes, hello, hello. Holy heaven. Going to be drawing. Nice. Was watching JoJo. Man, oh, man. JoJo. That is such a... It's such a long series. It's not longer than One Piece, but it's long enough to where it's like, I don't want to start. But I've already started. A long time ago, at least. I would never came back, but you know. You say, yo, I'm here for once. Nah, bro, you be pulling up, bro. It just be time. You ready for deep fried ninja with a side of jollof rice? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I already liked as soon as I got here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. I love the people that don't got to be told this, guys. Like, why do been screaming for like a year now? And we still got to be told to like the screen when you first get in here. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Majestic Hero. Where have you been, Majestic? It's been a while. I've been waiting on this last We're talking about Kisame beating Grimmjow. Oh, yeah. Hey, Majestic. Are you Iceberg Slim? No. Majestic, who are you on Twitter? Yeah, we're going to get into that. Because, boy, oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy. Aren't you trying to become a DBA? You don't know what I'm trying to become. You don't know a thing. You haven't been watching my streams. Don't act like you've been tuning in and listening to me and you know what I'm studying. You don't know a thing, sir. You don't know a thing of what I'm studying. I could be anything. We got Dr. Strangle, a.k.a. Acolyte's Epilogue. Oh, okay, you're Son of the Almighty. Okay, gosh, yeah. It always not confuses me, but it always like trips me out how people have different handles or across social media. Just keep Keep it abstract, or at least keep it something similar, because I'm abstract Lucius, Masio abstract, something. Just keep it congruent. Yes, Son of Almighty. I definitely know who you are. We've exchanged DMs, bro. Yes. I was getting through a reread of JoJo's earlier this year. For some reason, I stopped partway through part 4 and don't have the motivation to continue right now. Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Zach just sent me something. Will you do Rock Lee versus Megumi if I piss you off? No. Rock Lee versus Megumi isn't interesting. That's the thing. Anyways, let's get to the topic. How did we get here? Akatsuki versus the Espada. Why is this a conversation? How did we get here? You'd have to be something of a masochist to even allow this to happen, to even like enjoy this. You'd have to be somewhat of a masochist. You'd have to be a sick individual to allow this type of matchup. So it begs the question, why are we talking about it? Why is Ab-Stract going to possibly make a video about it? Why is this a subject of debate? Well, we have one person to owe to this. We have one person. And this individual continuously is the driving force behind certain videos. I think we all know who I mean. I always say, if you want to get me to make a video, if you want to get me to make some content, you really got to piss me off. You really got to and not piss off in the sense of oh, I'm super mad, I'm angry. Brr! Not like that. I mean, you got to say some shit that just goes against all reasoning and all logical probabilities in my mind, to where I'm like, okay, I see what's okay. Let's talk about it for real then. And so that's why we're here. Now, who is this individual that you ask? Who is this individual? Let's hear some guesses. Does anyone know who I'm talking about? The driving force behind the Akatsuki versus the Espada? It can only be one person. He's among you. He's among us. What do they call it? In Among Us, what is the person who is the killer called? Oh my gosh. Because that's what he is. He's a killer. Cold-blooded. And he gets away with it too. Because I've now produced 2 videos on things that I was originally not going to make videos on. But you know how it goes. So let me see if we got any guesses in the chat as to who we could be talking about. Okay. Because Kuribo, it's always him. One smart is how we got here. Yes. Yo. Kuribo, laugh my ass off. Yo. You one smart. Kuribo, easy. Thank you, Kuribo. Let's talk about it. Raggedy Red. Kuribo. It's got to be Kuribo, LOL. Yeah. The imposter. Thank you, Kuribo. Oh, man. Yes, the imposter. Okay. So, we are here today because of one smart Kuribo, who I do appreciate because he gets me I use it as motivation, right? When I really say piss me off, I really mean all right, now I'm motivated to actually invest time in this. You've motivated me to invest time into this. Wasn't going to talk about it. Was way out of my radar. Didn't think this needed to be a conversation, but guess what? Maybe it does. This is what produced Ikaku versus Asuma. Great video. I love that video. Even though I didn't have triple AP down, or getting AP at least down to the specifics, great video. I love that video. Kakashi versus Grimmjow. Definitely my most in-depth scaling video. Not the best views, probably because of the thumbnail and the SEO. Still, really good video. And now the Akatsuki versus the Espada. The Akatsuki versus the Espada. I didn't think I'd have to make a video on this. I didn't think I'd ever actually make a video on this. I've seen multiple videos online about this. Never thought they needed to make videos on it, but we're here. we're here. Let's go over some of the things that, like, the details as to how this was generated. Because it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. You guys know I'm active on Twitter for 2 reasons. Number 1, to find interesting conversations and to break this stuff down live so you guys can see the crazy shit. First, we'll start with this guy, Sictionary. We'll start with him, then we'll go to Kuribo. That's number 1. Number 2, it's entertaining. Not gonna lie, Twitter's kind of entertaining. A lot of people be annoying, but yeah. Actually, we'll get to this after me and Kuribo's thing. And then I think towards the end of the stream, we'll be taking a look at Dr. Strangle's legalistic argument for the data books working cross-verse, I think is what we will do. So let's go here real quick. Okay, let's go. Let's start here. Okay. No, that looks like a different conversation. Let's start right around here. Okay, we'll stop right here. Now, I guess you could really say this guy, Hans, is really responsible for this conversation. Don't know why it's a conversation, but I mean, listen, I understand putting random X character against random X character to get engagement. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. What I really mean, I guess, is why these two? Why these two? That's what the conversation really is. All right, I'm going to catch up the chat real quick, then we'll start actually going through what me and Kuribo talked about. And then we're going to get into some scaling points for each side, talk about some versus matchups here, and then we can either construct matchups, or if we want to say, like, is this going to be a team battle? You know, we'll see. Okay, let's see what we're talking about. Bro was tweaking. Facts. Oh, hey, leaving my grandma's house, heading to church. Did you see my message about the what? Give me a second. Not yet. On live. I'll check it out, though. Okay. Sorry about that. When wifey texts, you got to text back. Those are the rules. Okay, cool. Where we at? I hope you and your wife are doing well, Ab-Stract. NAD, your day is... Oh, and your day is... and your day as well is doing good. Yes. I see the correction. And yes, yeah. My day is going so well. Work was really, really good. I don't want to get too sidetracked. Work was good, though. Thank you for asking. I hope your day went really well, too. I hope all your guys' days went really well. We're in the middle of the week. Tomorrow's Thursday, guys. Friday's so close. That's what we all do it for, right? Friday. It's so close. Right around the corner. I think Stark solos. No. Why they can handle the equivalent of rapid-fire Biju bomb attacks. Hey, Dr. Strangle, don't get ahead of me. We gonna get there. We gonna walk them down. We gonna get there. Kai says, yo, what's good, Kai? All right. Just got here with food. I'm hearing Ab-Stract complain about liking the stream. Meanwhile, I've been the main one being the first like for his streams for the past year. That is true. That is true. Kai is usually like, he's usually first one. If it's not Kai, it's Shinigami. If it's not Shinigami, it's Kuribo. If it's not Kuribo, it's Luna Ursus. She's been first sometimes. But Kai is like, he kind of holds the crown for being first on these streams. If they all go out of character and work together, they might be able to beat base Oden Yeto, like shit. Because people think that beating Biju means you scale to their strongest attacks. That is literally Kuribo's entire ideology and thought process, from what I gather. You hit the nail right on the head, Michael. What's up? And the Akatsuki is gonna die. What's good? What's good, Animatrix? How you doing? Can I just guess the Espada wins? LOL. Is that too presumptuous? LOL. It's not. It's not. It's not even close. A while ago, I did Batagon versus the verse. I did Batagon versus the verse. So that should tell us everything we need to know about the Espada conversation. But I'll do the Akatsuki the favor. I'm not even going to include Batagon in the lineup. I'm not even going to include him when we talk about this discussion. It'll just be Espadas 0 through 9, excluding Batagon, and the 10 Akatsuki, or 9 Akatsuki, however many of them there are. We'll do it like that. Equal stats, Szayelaporro is more than enough. And see, Shinigami, that's the interesting thing. The question is, should we actually do it in equal stats format? I was thinking it would be a lot funner for me. I don't know how you guys would feel about it, but it would be a lot funner for me if we at least we could do it two ways. We can either do like equal stats, but the truth about equal stats is it's not really equal because all the Espada can literally have a 5 to 10 times amp. No one in the Akatsuki gets a 5 to 10 times amp doing anything. Not one of them. So equal stats isn't really equal. What I could do is pretend like they all scale to the maximum output of a Bijou. I could pretend that we can make that happen and say, okay, cool, look, they scale to the total energy of a Bijou bomb. The Bijou bomb is this much. This is what the Akatsuki can do. Go have at it. I could do something like that. But it would be skewed in the Akatsuki's favor. Well, I'd be making concessions at that point. Not necessarily skewed in their favor, but I'd be making concessions. But I've been thinking about not verse equalization. I've been thinking about stat equalization, though. The imposter, yes. Rockin' Alice 4034. What's up? So did you know that in Camp for Your Own World, you actually get told what the special ability of Neo Resurrection actually does? And while it works so well against Noitora and how strong his Hiedo actually is. I did not know we get told what her Resurrection actually does. You're not talking about Seto Doble? I understand that she can absorb all energy-based attacks, but if you're not talking about Seto Doble and that, then I do not know. No, I do not. Szayelaporro could turn the Akatsuki into dolls and kill them, and he's number 8. Yeah. And the thing is, people sleep on Szayelaporro. We're going to get into all this stuff, but people sleep on Szayelaporro. Someone hasn't hit the like button. Let's go, guys. Come on, Tay. Get him, Tay. Get him, Tay. All right, Megami defeats Rock Lee. Does Megami beat Rock Lee? Lee would have to go to the 6th gate probably, and then maybe, but probably not. Megami's, for as much of a jobber that Megami is when it matters, he's pretty good. He's very tactical, right? He has a plethora of Shikigami he can call forth. His shadow ability is really good. He's a good fighter. He has some cursed tools. He's pretty good. Megami's not bad by any means necessary. Like if Nue can stun, if Demon Dog is taking out flesh from Hanami, he's going through Rock Lee like butter. You know what I mean? It's all about if he hits. The only character in the Akatsuki that stands a chance is Pain and Obito. Pain and Obito. Who are they fighting? It ought to see in that the matchups matter too. The matchups matter too for the Akatsuki, not so much the Espada. Any Espada can fight any Akatsuki member. Any Akatsuki member cannot fight any Espada. It definitely matters. Personally, I think Grimmjow versus Deidara makes more sense. Deidara. Literally any one of them can fight Deidara. It's not going to be a problem. Szayelaporro could fight Deidara. It's not going to be a problem. Noitora can fight Deidara. It's not going to be a problem. Hey, very interesting topic. Konan Patton. How are you doing today? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ab-Stract, and this is the Ab-Stract section. Tonight we're talking about the Akatsuki versus the Espada because, man, oh man. We're going to get, I'm going to stop saying we're going to get into it. Anyways. We got Luna Ursa in the chat. You're streaming. Let's go. Yes, we are streaming tonight. Talking about some Akatsuki versus the Espada. Szayelaporro versus Sorcery. Szayelaporro versus Sorcery? That's a good matchup. I like that one. Kind of. I like that one. I guess Szayelaporro. Well, no. Yeah, we'll get into matchups. I'm gonna catch up, and then I'm gonna start getting into why we even got here. Grimmjow versus Deidara. Noitor versus Kakuzu. Ooh, that's a good one. I actually like that one. Shinigami. It's a good day to see y'all. Mine was all right. Nice. Good, Candy Patton. Good. Ukiyoda versus Itachi. Holly Bell versus Kisame. Screw Friday. I do this for the weekend. Like shit. Nah, I feel that, bro. Goku doing dynamic saga would have a better chance, and he'd get beat up badly. Oof. Badagon versus Pain. We're not even going to put Badagon in the equation because I don't think Badagon is needed, and I've already did Badagon versus the Naruto verse. Even though that was before I did triple AP scaling, a majority of the things in that video still actually apply. So we're not going to put Badagon in that actual verse. Tensoda Friday is almost here. Glagsh. I've never heard that expression before, but I kind of like it. Glagsh. I like that. I actually haven't been watching Tensei. I actually got to catch up on that. You and I should talk on Discord. Mine's is Uriel Ursa Valkyria. Stark versus Obito. Oh, definitely guys connect. Yeah, definitely. I like that. Connect. Stark versus Obito. Interesting. Stark. I feel like Obito could fight Zamari and have a good fight. But we'll get into matchups. All right, let me scroll all the way down because I'll never catch up if I read this slowly and keep talking. So I'll just scroll all the way down. Make sure no one new joined so I can greet them. Rockin' Alice, how you get around to someone whose aura just ages everything you can throw at him, or Noitor who is immune to conventional damage, and needed two different people whose abilities include space-cutting stuff. Facts. Badagon is terrible once more. He'd also solo Naruto except Kaguya. Maybe so, yeah, Badagon is terrible. Well, so the interesting thing about this Neo Animatrix is that the Otsutsuki do actually age. So, no, Badagon would actually, his abilities would work there too. You should go over the non-equal stats version after you talk equal stats Fallout. That sounds good. I like that. We got John the Maven in the chat. What's good, Johnny boy? What's good, bro? How are you doing? Should we include Neliel, Lupio Orochimaru, and the likes? That's a good question, too. Maybe for tonight's conversation, I don't know if I'd put them in the video, maybe except for like bonus content. Maybe something like that. The microbombs are wiping out the Espada. All right. The microbombs from Deidara. How do I want to address this? Well, we'll get to that when I actually have to get to that. I feel like the stat equalization gives the losing side a pity buff advantage because they're obviously weaker. If the Akatsuki are truly stronger, stat equalization shouldn't be needed. Then, right? That is true. Majestic brings up a good point. But the thing is this. One side of the opposition thinks that they're not weaker. So it ultimately depends on who's doing the scaling. Since I believe the Akatsuki to be the weaker group, then they would necessarily need the pickup. They'd need the buff. They'd need the stim pack, the stimulus, the adrenaline. They need all that stuff, the nitro, the Nas. They need all that stuff and more, right? So we'll see. It's not a guarantee that I will do it. It's not a guarantee I won't do it. I mean, there are spotters, so I would hope Ab-Stract includes them. Maybe. We'll see. Ab, did you say you were going to monetize the channel? Where's the super chat button at? You're right. I've been slacking on that. John. Yes, I will actually. I've been meaning to turn it on. I will do that. Thank you though for reminding me. Yeah, no resolution ability is to pierce through anything, and the text makes sure to mention it. It does it to space, and that's why went right through Naruto to Hiedo. His skin is so tough that it takes extreme esoteric effects to get through it. All right, so that's. So if that is Nell's ability, that's really dope. That's number one. If that is her ability, that's really dope. I wish it was more pronounced, though. I don't think we saw how it's described because Noitor was more or less fine, even getting hit by her Lanza del Verde. He was more or less fine by that. But if that's the ability, that's pretty cool in itself. Luna Ursa says stat equalization, or as I do it, relativization is for the purpose of igniting a good conversation while being clear on who wins in a more definitive sense. If you lose a fair fight, you are trash. I agree. So, yeah, I agree with that. I can understand that. The microbombs absolutely destroy the Espada. They didn't even completely see, and like he doesn't want to talk about those things. Zach, don't get ahead of me, bro. Don't get ahead of me. We gonna get there. He thinks the microbombs are going to destroy the Espada. They couldn't beat it. Well, you already said they couldn't beat a snake. What are we talking about? His best bomb couldn't beat a snake. Sorry, not the microbombs. His best bomb couldn't beat a snake. It would scale above the microbombs. Number one. Are the Espada insides as strong as their outsides? Well, a little birdie told me that you can reinforce your internal organs with Reiatsu. A little birdie told me that you can reinforce your internal organs with Reiatsu. I don't know. I mean, hey, that's up to you. Obito versus Toto. That's how Toto. Who wins? Obi-Wan versus Obito. I think I saw that on Death Battle. Obito should win that, unless they're like using Legends Obi-Wan or something like that. I don't know. Okay, cool. Let's get to this conversation. So Hands asks, Kisame versus Grimmjow. Who takes this? Now, me being the person that I am, when I see a matchup like this, it's a no-brainer. No-brainer. No arm Grimmjow wins this in his sleep. Kuribo says, how? I respond, he kicks the ever-living shit out of Kisame, and Kisame explodes. Literally what would happen? Kuribo says, you choose armless Grimmjow, so he's weaker than the one-armed Grimmjow that got kicked from the Espada. You decided his starting condition is sleep. So now he has no way to even be aware of Kisame eating his energy. Do you want to change your condition for Grimmjow? Now, this was funny, right? Because normally when people say, I guess the hyperbolic version of what they want to say, it's not meant to be taken full on serious. But with this matchup, I was like, sure, why not? Because I really do believe even a sleeping Grimmjow with no arms can kick the ever-living shit out of Kisame and he will die. I truly believe that in my being. I believe that. So I said, no, I stand by that when Grimmjow wakes up, he's going to kick Kisame in his chest and Kisame will die. Kisame is decently powerful for Naruto, right? He's decently powerful for Naruto standards, but at best, and this is being generous, he is Eterard levels of strength. And that's being generous. I lie to you not, that's being generous. I lie to you not, that's being generous. Kuribo replies, Kisame eats energy. If, and that's a big if, he says, if Grimmjow wakes up, it's improbable that he would have the energy to stand, let alone fight back in any meaningful capacity. Okay, that was kind of funny to me. Because, so, in Kuribo's example, Kisame is just going to be able to use Samehada, like put it next to him, and just start siphoning his energy, and Grimmjow's just going to sleep through it. Never mind that Grimmjow is a panther, and that he's an animal, and has animal instincts, and probably a strong sense of smell, and probably a strong sense of danger, and all these other senses and stuff going on with him. Never mind that. Kisame is going to sneak up to him, siphon his chakra, and Grimmjow won't wake up, is what Kuribo was saying. But anyways, my response is I don't think Kisame could injure Grimmjow in any meaningful capacity. Facts. I don't believe he can injure Grimmjow in any meaningful capacity. Kuribo responds, I doubt Grimmjow has the durability necessary to defend himself from Kisame. Kisame doesn't need to make contact to take energy. My next response is, well, water from Kisame isn't killing any Espada, and I don't know a single feat that gets his striking power, that being Kisame's, past Eterards or Ikkakus. That's a fact. I don't know a single feat for Kisame or To be quite honest and quite frank with you guys, I don't know a single feat for any Akatsuki member that gets their striking power past what we've seen Ichigo do to Jadambo's axes, past what we've seen Ikaku survive from Edarad. I don't know. I don't know what... I really don't know what the verse has. I really don't. Certain people, maybe. Not Kisame. Not him. I love him to death. And when I get into my Naruto bag, Kisame is definitely one of them guys. But outside his verse... Kuribo says, Shark Bomb would take out a healthy Resurrection Grimmjow. Oh. I almost had to block him after that one. He said Shark Bomb. Not even the Super Shark Bomb. Not even the Super Shark Bomb that he used against Guy. He said Shark Bomb. Just the ordinary Shark Bomb. The one that matches Itachi's Fire Style Jutsu. The one that matches Kakashi's Shark Bomb. Shark Bomb would take out a healthy Resurrection Grimmjow. The Grimmjow you chose has no arms, and Kisame has already got a head start draining his energy because you had Grimmjow sleep. Grimmjow has no win conditions here. His win con is kicking Kisame's chest in. Kuribo says Kisame's blade would use its scales to defend Kisame and stab into Grimmjow. Do I even gotta say anything about that? Kisame would use Samehada, and the blades would protect him and stab into Grimmjow. Right. Stab into Grimmjow. That's what you believe is what would happen? Okay. Okay, buddy. So, we get Majestic in here, a.k.a. Son of the Almighty. That's who Majestic is. He says, bro, Bankai Ichigo didn't even get cut through... Bankai Ichigo couldn't even cut through Grimmjow's skin. He had to go through a whole training arc just to be able to land damage on him. Finally, in Grimmjow stopping Ukiyo Seto with his bare hands. What the fuck is Kisame got that's going to hurt Grimmjow? Fair question. Kisame attacks will be stealing the very energy that fuels Grimmjow's defense. There's also just using Shark Bomb. Okay, at this point, Kuribo must be talking about the Super Shark Bomb itself. Because he said Shark Bomb again. But I don't think Kuribo would be... I'm going to give Kuribo the benefit of the doubt and say he's talking about the Super Shark Bomb here. Because if you're talking about the regular Shark Bomb, Kuribo, then we can't even go any further than that. So, oh wait, Majestic is in your handle. My fault, bro. Okay, yeah, okay, my fault. That was me. Majestic says, bruh, like I said, he was stopping Seto's from an Espada 2 ranks above him with his bare hand. That Shark Bomb ain't going to do nothing to him, laugh my ass off. Not to mention, just his sheer strength, speed, and durability alone would overwhelm Kisame. He wouldn't even need his release form. All he needs is his legs. You see that right there? This is killing. We do understand the Espada literally just poke holes in Shinigami for like no reason and with no resistance. Noitori does it to Kenpachi. Ukiyo does it to Ichigo. Grimmjow does it to Rukia. These are all fighters that scale to Edarad's level, which is like multi-city block level, and above. And above. I'm not even throwing that around as some impressive thing. I'm just giving you a standard of measurement that we can actually use that the series has. And then scaling off Rayatsu, we know... We got Kino in the chat. What's good, Kino? Who else came in? Did anyone else come in? We got Kanan in here. Okay. Cool. All right. All right. Kuribo says Kisame has already fought people stronger and faster than Grimmjow. And he thinks his reference is Might Guy as being stronger and faster than Grimmjow. That's a crazy one. Majestic says, bro, Grimmjow in base would wreck both of these dudes. Guy would need to go out. Guy would need to go all 8 gates just to challenge him. This is true in my opinion. That's my opinion, but hey. Then he goes Pentetta. It's over for him. Laugh my fucking ass off. Mind you, Kisame was losing to Guy, not even close to 8 gates. Kisame is getting washed. Pun intended. Oh, nasty work. Kuribo says Guy is stronger than Grimmjow, and he used 7 gates to Kisame. Healthy Resurrection Grimmjow might have a chance under the right conditions. Check out the condition Ab-Stract has for Grimmjow starting off. Now, that I'm not going to lie, that is very funny to me, Kuribo. Like, If another person starts engaging you in the conversation, you got to take their stance on the topic. You can't just say, hey, throw in abstracts. He has them like that. No, you got to take his stance. All right. But it is what it is. Majestic says 7 gates just to be Kisame. My bad. Guy doesn't even stand a chance. My bad. Guy doesn't even stand a chance. Then at all, laugh my ass off. Grimmjow would one-shot Kisame in base. Same thing I said. The fact that Guy was in 7 gates just to beat Kisame just proves my point even further. Soul Society Ichigo scales above Kisame and Guy, and Grimmjow no diffed him in base. The hardest thing about making Naruto videos, especially for me, is understanding the power system. That's the hard. No, I'm sorry, not understanding. It's implementing the power system once you understand it. Once you understand the power system fully, and your goal is to scale and derive actual numbers for things, getting each character their necessary minimum becomes the hardest thing to do because everyone scales differently in what their attacks do, how they affect each other, their own durability versus their own speed versus their own strength. The Kakashi versus Toshido video I used, I cannot then just blanket everything I did for Kakashi and give that to Kisame. I can't do it. It won't work. The complete opposite is the case for Bleach. 100% is the case for Bleach. Everything AP, speed, and durability wise that Grimmjow can do, I can assert Ulquiorra can do. I can assert Aizen can do. I can assert Stark can do. Maybe except, well, no. AP wise, not DC. AP. Yeah, I'm correct. Complete opposite for Bleach. It just works like that. Naruto? No. I'm going to have to individually look at all the Akatsukis, look at all the Akatsuki, look at all their fights, look at all their battles. Okay, who did this? How did this affect this person? What's their relation into the story? Okay, cool. We know Sorcery fought Chio. Chio fought Hanzo and the White Fang, but the White Fang doesn't have any scaling. Hanzo does have scaling, but he fought the younger Sani, so how strong were they? It's going to be very, very tiresome and tedious, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you, Kuribo. And chat. I'm going to do it for you. Because some of you guys have been asking about a Akatsuki versus Espada video, even from years past, or from like last year, if I remember correctly. It was a topic, I remember. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll be the guy. I will do it. I don't mind. Okay. What else did this Kuribo say? Did I read his last thing? Okay, yeah. Kuribo says Healthy Resurrection Grimmjow needs to put his all into kicking Ichigo through building-sized pillars. 6th gate guy was dispersing a giant body of water with just his chakra, and 7th gate was shaking an island with a punch while aiming a different direction. And the sick thing is this. You do realize Kisame lost to this, right? He didn't compete with this. That's not good for Kisame. Love him to death. He my man 100 grand. In Naruto, he's whooping ass. Outside his verse, I'm sorry, he ain't that guy. He lost to this. You understand that, right? He lost to an air pressure punch. You understand? You do understand. When it comes to the big three, Bleach is the king of air pressure fucking feats. When it comes to the big three, you do know that, right? You know how you know Jackie Tristan? Do you know Jackie Tristan? She has an air pressure feat. And man, oh man, we want to talk about a punch that did no DC at all? Oh, Ab-Stract, why you say it didn't know DC? We want to learn about the AP. Well, guess how we derive AP? One form is getting to DC. It ain't do nothing. That's not to say it doesn't have any scaling. That's not to say that. I'm just laying it all on the line. How potent is Hirodora? How potent is it? What did it do to Madara Susanoo? I'm going to have to look at all these things. If I remember, it didn't do too much to Madara Susanoo. Majestic says, bro, you're talking about a giant body of water. When just in base, he has blast that literally distorts space and can fly, right? LOL. Not to mention, he has homing missiles that pierce through hollowed Bankai Ichigo. Fighting a body of water is not helping him here, my guy. Yeah, no. Water's not killing any Espada. Not a single one. Not a single one. Kuribo says, so you're saying Grimmjow will need a max power Grand Racero to have a chance against Kisame. Kuribo could have been a lawyer. I won't be surprised if Kuribo is a lawyer. Boy, can he frame some shit. So you're saying Grimmjow will need a max power Grand Racero to have a chance against Kisame. Ab-Stract set the conditions. Grimmjow has no arms and starts the fight asleep. Yet you recognize Grimmjow needs everything in his kit just to stay in the fight with Kisame. That's funny. I don't even believe Grimmjow needs his sword. Y'all see, I just keep standing on business. I just keep going deeper and deeper into the thick of it. I don't believe Grimmjow needs his sword. He just needs his 2 legs and to know that he's fighting somebody. For Kisame, at least. Kuribo says, how is Grimmjow going to reach his necessary higher forms without his sword? We might have to give Grimmjow his hypothetical Hogyoku amp from the mobile game. I didn't even know he had an amp from the mobile game. Okay. Just so he has the minimum durability necessary to survive Kisame's standard slashes. Kisame's standard slashes scale where with what calc? That's my question. Where does Kisame's standard slashes scale? I can tell you where Suigetsu scales. It's not good. It's not good. Didn't Suigetsu and Kisame clash? That's not good. Don't worry, I'm not using Clash as a scale. It's just funny that they did, and Suigetsu's swordsmanship is actually quite ass. But Kuribo made a claim. He said, he said he'll need his Hogyoku amp from the game just so he has the minimum durability necessary to survive Kisame's standard slashes. What are Kisame's standard slashes? What are they? How strong are they? Does he have any feats? Does his slashes have any scaling? You know, Kisame is the same guy that on two accounts threatened to cut off someone's legs, and we'd never seen the sword do anything like that, anything close to it. I don't know how Samehada could even cut legs with all the fucking blade mouths on it. I really don't. It's not a sword made for cutting. Kisame even acknowledges this, and he says it's going to be a bloody cut. But we actually never get to see it or the process, so we really don't know. All we know is that he has the confidence to do it, but that's not doing it. That's not doing it. Kisame got hurt by Osama. Nasty. That's nasty work. Osama? Every time Samehada gets near Grimmjow, all his stats are dropping. This is a casual swing. Kisame was already matching characters like Base Guy and Osama without much effort. Osama? You want to reference Osama as a person of interest that Kisame matched? That's a good thing to you? That's like saying Rukia matched D-Roy, but even D-Roy would be better than matching Osama. That's like me saying Zenosuke Iroku Madani matched Shrieker. That's like me saying that. If you know who Zenosuke Iroku Madani is, you got ball knowledge for Bleach. I respect you. If you don't, go read the series. Go read it. If you don't remember who Shrieker is, go read the series again. Majestic says, bro, Base Guy not even Soul Society Bankai Ichigo level, and Grimmjow did this to him without a weapon, laughed my ass off. You keep posting this gif like it helps your argument. Realistically, Grimmjow could potentially just soul crush him with Reiatsu, if I'm being honest. That's true. We don't like to fall back on the soul crush argument, but it's true. Kuribo says the feat here is a small crater. We've seen Choji do better during the Chunin exams. Choji has to grow twice his size to do something like that. So the entire feat is coming from the size of Choji. You understand that, right, Kuribo? You've been here long enough. So I respond with, that's from Ichigo's impact. Grimmjow is scaling above every Arrancar and Espada weaker than him. Facts. That's just how it works. He's scaling above Eterod. He's scaling above Xiaolong. He's scaling above Dordoni. He's scaling above Seruchi. He's scaling above Gantenbein. He's scaling above Aranyeto. He's scaling above Zamari. He's scaling above Szayelaporro. All of them. So whatever feats and things I can find, they go to Grimmjow. But I really won't need them once I do the scaling for the Espada anyway. Grimmjow scaling slightly above characters who also can't stop Kisame. See, this was a funny one. This is a funny one. This one made me laugh. I'm gonna heart this one. This one made me laugh because that's some shit that I would say. So Kuribo said, Grimmjow scaling slightly above characters who also can't stop Kisame is not moving the needle in Grimmjow's favor. That's some shit I would say. I like that comment. That was funny. That's cute. You almost sound like me. Yeah, that was a good comment. I'll give you that. That was a good comment. Now, this was the straw that broke the camel's back right here. This was it. All that other stuff was just me having fun, chopping it up with Kuribo, preamble bullshit, if I'm being honest with you. This right here is what was like, all right, hold up. Brody don't really think. So Kuribo says, you want to talk about Konan versus Stark? Excuse me? Pardon me? Come again? Did I hear you correctly? Is that what I think I heard you say? You want to repeat yourself? Would you like to change your answer? Is that your final answer? He said he had the nerve to type to me. Do you want to talk about Konan versus Stark? Keep it up, and we'll be talking about Deidara versus Espadas 2 through 9. Are you out your goddamn mind, Kuribo? This is when I said to myself, you're not a very smart Kuribo. That's what I said. That's what I said to myself. I said, oh, this guy. He says, I'm down to shuffle the usual matchups and guarantee the Akatsuki still come out with more wins. More wins? You think they're getting a win? More wins? You don't get a chance. It's my turn all the time. When the Akatsuki go, that's it. That's it. I said the Akatsuki. When the Espada go, that's it. There is no redo. There is no anything else. There is no their turn. They don't get a turn. They don't get a turn. So, attack Shinigami 10 hours ago. So this was like early in the morning, basically. I said, this is how you get me to make a video. Right here. This is how you get me to make a video. Absolutely. And that's the story, folks. That is the story. So Kuribo has finessed another video out of Ab-Stract. I really feel like a victim here. Am I getting played? Is he doing this on purpose? He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He just wants me to put out content. And I appreciate that. Very funny. Hilarious, actually. Hilarious. So, I'm going to catch up on chat. And then we're going to go look at some things. Why can't I pull up? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Let's go here first. No, not that one. For Naruto, I need chapter... I need sorcery in them. Oh yeah, forgive all these freaking tabs that keep opening and stuff. Very annoying. Up all night. Yeah, I think I will have to pay for that one app. I really will, bro. You know, maybe I should start with Deidara versus Gaara. Maybe I should start with that. What is going on? Is it 270? Okay. Oh no, earlier than 270. Wait, is it earlier than 270? Yeah, earlier than 270. Up all night. Boy, oh boy. Holy hell, bro. What is with all these ads? I definitely have to get out of this shit. Oof. So they captured Gaara way back. This is killing me. Yep, gotta get this ad blocker. Let's try 257. Okay. $250. It's probably around 230 for Gaara. Or 240? Let's try 240. Okay, good. That's when the series is kicking off. Up all night. Okay, Rin. Cool. Okay, Kakashi and Obito. Cool. Come on. All right. Shippuden is kind of blowing me. Holy hell, bro. Okay, cool. Are they back to the village? Finally. Good. Yeah, we got to kick off this Gaara stuff. Up all night. Okay, we'll stop here for now. Let me catch up on chat. We got Kino in the chat. Yeah. All right, where we at? To be fair, that was a 30%. Kisame isn't that guy in verse. I think he is, though. I really like Kisame. I think he is one of them guys in verse, to be honest. He's not top 20. No, he actually is top 20. My fault. I'm dumb. He is top 20. I'd say he's top 20. Not that it makes any difference. So Ichigo during his fight with Grimmjow's Resurrection Slaughter is far stronger than androids 16, 17, and 18 combined. Ooh, I don't know about all that. I don't know about that. I won't go that far. Bro, Grimmjow had to go all out to kick Ichigo because Ichigo was bracing. It's a lot harder to push someone over that's standing firm expecting it than it is to push over someone not expecting it. Yep. Oh, Jackie Tristan versus King Elizabello the second. Who wins? I have no idea who that is, Michael. Is that a made-up name? Did you make that up? I have no idea who that is, bro. Would hollows be capable of breathing underwater by just using Ryatsu? Uryu says that hollows don't need much food. You know what? I don't ever think we've seen an instance of a hollow submerged in water. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, at least. So I would say probably, yeah. We got Chris TV in the chat. Hey, Ab-Stract, LOL, what's up? Boy, I asked for this on X and you delivered. Oh, yes. Hey, is this Ice? Wait, who is this? Iceberg? Chris, are you Iceberg? I feel like you're Iceberg, Chris, but let me know if you are or not. This is why people need to keep the same handles, guys. I gotta know who you are. Would Samehada even have a taste for Reiatsu? As far as the whole chakra absorption thing, I used to be against it. And I'll say this, I'm not like fully sold on it, but I'm more on the side, or I'll say that I'm closer to the side that things like Karma and Rinnegan probably can absorb spiritual energy, probably. The only thing is, there just aren't really any direct examples. And I mean, it's tough because Yoroi can absorb physical and spiritual, so it would intimate that it is / could. You know what? No, let's be consistent. Based off that, yeah, let's give it to him. I don't mind because it doesn't really change too much, but let's give it to him. I don't mind it. Ichigo final gets a Getensho, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Oof. Exactly. He talking about Kisame's sword like is Tenseigan Getsu or something. Yeah, no. Samehada has literally 0 cutting feats, except for Asuma, maybe. Asuma. Suigetsu is awesome, in my opinion. One of my favorite characters in Naruto. He can be awesome. He's a bum, though. I'll tell you that right now. He's a bum. Do we really think Samehada wouldn't like the taste of Pantera energy? I mean, who knows? He might like it so much that he leaves Kisame and goes with Grimmjow. Honestly, Kisame wouldn't need the whole lifespan of the universe to absorb Reiatsu, and it wouldn't cover the surface layer. That's true. Ab-Stract, wait. Would Samehada even have hollow antibodies? There are no hollows in Naruto, so Grimmjow's Reiatsu would be toxic to Samehada. Thank you for bringing that up, Mugetsu. That's a great point. Let's write that down. Hollow Reiatsu is poisonous. So that might be a point we bring up. Say Asuma as a feat for Kisame. That ain't matter. Yeah, no. Asuma as a feat for Kisame. It's literally like mentioning D-Roy. It's literally like mentioning Shrieker, Grand Fisher. These aren't impressive. These aren't good. We wouldn't. No one's going to say, "Oh, Ishin beat Grand Fisher," and actually care that Ishin beat Grand Fisher. No one's going to care. It's Grand fucking Fisher. Okay. I forgot about this too. Shout out to Gaara. I'm not to Gaara. Shout out to Sorcery. Because I get on Naruto's case a lot about not doing ninja things. This was a really good ninja thing. So what Sorcery did when he left the village is he placed a like curse seal or like a mind altering thing, almost like a sleeper agent thing on this guy. I can't remember his name. Jorah or something like that. Not Jorah. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he placed like a sleeper agent mind thing on this guy. And when he gets close to the village, or actually right now, Sorcery activates it. And his head starts to hurt. And yeah. And so Yo Boy immediately recognizes who Sorcery is after he like releases the jutsu on him. He bodies 1, 2, 3, 4. He bodies 4 of his own guys. And then he welcomes Sorcery and Deidara into the village. Very dope. A very good intro into the series, by the way, too. This is really good for setting the scene of what's about to happen and setting the pace and the tone for the series. Really good, actually. Really good. Not mad at none of this stuff. So let's get into Deidara. While I'm reading, at least. I give Asuma Saratobi credit where it's due. Asuma doesn't get any credit. Asuma is badass. Asuma died early. Did he die early though, or did he die like when he was? Did he die to someone he wasn't supposed to die to? Because that's like dying early. No, he died. He ran into people that he is weaker than, and he died. He didn't die early. He died when he was supposed to die. Assuming this crater is where Grimmjow scaling peaks is disingenuous. Only Kuribo would do something like this. But it's okay. Hot take. Genma is more badass than Asuma. Genma? If Genma's the toothpick one, yes. Yes. Just because he got the headband, honestly. Shinigami says, Ab-Stract, I got some comments considering Espada versus Akatsuki in their applications for fights. I saw a blog related to it, but I don't think it does research as well as I would do. Interesting. Send it to me, then tell me your comments, please. Can Kisame even beat Boa Boa? I don't think Kisame could beat Don Chakra, Peshe, Ranunagan. Well, no, he might be able to beat Ranunagan because he's a sand guy, but That's kind of where it stops, in my opinion. We got Grid in the chat. What's good, Grid? I love Konan Kuribo, but god damn it. My boy said Konan versus Stark. I don't even know where to like begin with that. Should I even have that? Should I do that as the final matchup? Konan versus Stark? The person who fought 4 captains versus the person who almost fought Obito? Because I don't even know if I want to count that as a fight. She came pre-prepped, did her thing, got stabbed, and then choked out. She didn't throw any hands. She didn't really show any other jutsu that we haven't seen. She did bombs. We know she does bombs. She didn't show any speed feats. Of course, she didn't show any durability. And she showed enough AP to be able to wound Obito. Not impressive. Not impressive. Who is Konan? Good question. Couldn't tell you. Deidara is literally under NOM level. NOM? I don't know. You mean the girl of the Akatsuki. Who is the strongest Bleach character Konami could be? Who are these people, Michael? I don't know who Konami is. Like the video game company? That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, Konan. Okay. Who is the strongest character that Konan could beat? That's a tough one. Let's see. Let me think about that. Maybe Zenosuke of the Wind Scythe. Jadambo? I don't know. I really like Don Kanoji. Who is the strongest person that Konan could be? Like, outside of a billion paper bombs prepping in the Rain Village, what is she going to do? I really don't know. What is she going to do? I'm struggling. Like, I don't know if she beats basic hollows. I don't think she beats basic hollows, actually. Like, Grand Fisher, Shrieker, the first couple ones that fought Ichigo, Orihime's brother, I don't know if she beats them. I really don't think she does. Her paper bombs haven't been shown to be more impressive than Deidara's. At the very least, we've seen Deidara's paper bombs crater and hurt Manda to a good degree. Blow up Sasuke's wing. We've seen that from Deidara. Her bomb hit Obito. A guy who's already half Hashirama cells, which are weaker than his own body. Yes, they are. His own body has muscles, tissues, blood, water, bones. The Hashirama cell is literally just like fucking gel or whatever. I don't know what the substance is, but it's definitely weaker than his own body. Goddamn spell check. Konan better off fighting Rangiku or Momo. Laugh my ass off. She's not beating Rangiku or Momo. That's not a good fight. That's not a good fight. Momo's just going to go invisible with Kido, hide her presence, and spam Tobiyume, set up some Kido to where she won't be able to move, beat her that way. Rangiku probably won't even need to use Hinako. I'm not going to lie to you. She probably won't need to use Hinako. Konan would be dust by the time Rangiku warms up. Yeah. Maybe a few unnamed 6 seats and below. Yeah. Like Jirobo of the Wind Scythe. I think he's like a 5th seat. I don't remember. But like him. Honestly, she needs to get past Eterod right now. She's not getting past Eterod. And I like Konan a lot. Or Rangiku. Did they forget that if the Espada breathe in hard, they can just suck out their souls? Unless you could prove they have a stronger than normal soul. Good luck with that. Yeah, no, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I already have a video on soul-based attacks working. And the truth is, I'm sorry, Naruto. They haven't shown good resistance to soul-based techniques at all. At all. It doesn't really exist. Outside of Naruto himself, it doesn't really exist. Look, we need to put this to bed. Stillman Kuribo shit really quick. What durability feats do we say Deidara has? I'll pull out the video games for this, bro. I swear. What durability feats? Stillman Kuribo shit really quick. I don't know how to stillman his shit. You can't tell me to stillman it. I don't know. I'd just be honest and say he doesn't have any. That's what I would do. Let me see though. What durability feats? Well, no, he got his arm crushed by Deidara, so that's not really a durability feat. Let's look at some of his bombs. Let's look at some of his bombs. Okay, lands here, lands here. Lands on his back. Gets on his face. Okay. So, is that it? Okay, that's it. So these bombs presumably kill these ninja. These would have to be standard / ordinary paper bomb level or lower. Because it's not causing any surrounding damage. Like, we know it's not a grenade level. A grenade would at least cause some impact, at least to, even at that distance, a grenade would likely cause impact to the surrounding area. And this kills them. I'm not surprised, of course, but it does kill them. Goes to Gaara. One thing Deidara does have going for him, though, is his bird is fast enough to avoid Gaara's sand. That's at least some... We can get some scaling for that. That's nice. Right? His bird's speed is nice. Now, the actual potency of explosions... We'll probably have to go to the Sasuke fight for that. But yeah. Brody gets his arm cleanly broken off. Or at least now he does. This is actually a really short fight. And the thing that sucks about this explosion, we actually don't get to see what it does because Gaara blocks it. We know it's a C3. He calls it a masterpiece amongst his prize collection. The explosion looks big, looks pretty good. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Imagine when I say Deidara drops his strongest piece on the Espada and literally all of them are just standing there. Because that's what would really happen. I'm not even joking right now. That's what would literally happen. Because here's what I know for a fact. This explosion is amongst his prized possessions, right? It's one of his stronger ones, his masterpiece. I know him self-destructing would scale above this. And I know Manda survives that. I know him self-destructing scales above this. And I know Manda survives that. So how strong is Manda? How strong do we think Manda is? Doesn't he get pierced by like a huge sword from a toad? Doesn't that happen? Do we think Manda would at least be as strong as Gamabunta? Yeah, Stillman and Kuribo's position is hard. I don't know any Deidara feats. I really don't. He gets his arm crushed by Gaara in this fight, and that's pretty much all the damage he takes. More content is great. The Akatsuki still stomp. Kuribo, I want you to know I respect you, even though I think you're so disingenuous. Not gonna lie, Aizen versus Grimm is closer than some Naruto dudes. Aizen versus who? Akatsuki can't even beat a Cyberman. Ugh, rough. Akatsuki may not even beat Konan. Konan and Ichigo's body is actually pretty strong. Akatsuki not even beating the Visors. Don't say that. Don't say not even beating the Visors. The Visors are a very respectable group. All right, they're not the best in Bleach, but in Naruto they are gods. Suspend that for this hypothetical, Shinigami. We low genuinely need your intelligence for this bullshit. Ursa says, let's assume that everyone has a few shareable feats because that still means Kuribo's interpretation. See, every time we talk about Naruto, I gotta make concessions and I gotta. I'll say this, Luna Ursa. I'll say this. If I do allow them to share some feats, it does make it easier. It makes it faster for me. So, you know what? You know what? You know what? That's fine. Let me think. No, it's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Mine's everywhere. Because the one moment that I agree, something in my triple AP scaling brain says, no, that won't work because of this reason. Then I'm like, no, it can work. No, that won't work because of this reason. I mean, no, that won't work because of this reason. But I have to override that. I have to shut off my triple AP scalar brain and just, yeah. To make it as simple and as easy as possible, I think some shareable feats will be good. I think some shareable feats will be good. And I think there's a way I can probably tie it all together. If I do the scaling correctly, there should be a way I tie it all together. Chiyo is relative to sorcery. Even in her old age, she's relative to sorcery. So that's actually pretty impressive. Sorcery beat the third Raikage, third Kazekage, that is, but we don't know who he fought. Gaara's, I don't know, Gaara's probably better than Deidara. He did have to protect the village the whole time, so we have to factor that in as well. Okay. Let me go to, not this chapter. I think I was looking for, boy, oh boy. I really do got to get a different thing for this. This is like crazy to me. Okay, didn't really mean to go here, but sure, why not? Oh, you know what? We can go back a little bit. I think it'd be like maybe 3 chapters. Laje Ludiosa's brilliant technique, Gabrielle. And it would be so funny if we made the fight take place in Szayelaporro's lab. That would be hilarious. Imagine Szayelaporro turning off chakra. Because he could actually do it. So Grimmjow versus Noitoru. Holy hell, bro. Every time I gotta do this every time I want to click a chapter? Jesus Christ, bro. So boy just catches the blade. We do understand Samehada, kunai, Rinnegan rods, poison needles. We do understand all that shit's obsolete, right, Kuribo? Chat, we understand that, right? Poison needles, Samehada, kunai, Rinnegan chakra rods. None of that shit's working over here. None of that shit's working over here. We don't just stop blades, we catch them. And Noitoru is not the first person to do this. Where we at, bro? Where we at? Because y'all playing games. Oh, no, not here. Hold up. Why is it going forward? I'm going... Okay, hold up. Na, 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 na. Whoa. Okay. That was strange. Didn't appreciate that. Okay. Why is that playing from my laptop consistently? Very strange. All right. Did Ichigo enter the battle yet? Let me see. He must have. And then get into Kaijo. Cool. Holy hell. Yeah, I gotta buy that. I gotta buy the app. Because that's actually crazy, bro. I think it's 206 he comes in. Yeah, here we go. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Like, oh man. So we understand that Grimmjow couldn't have did this unless he also blitzed Ichigo as well. Rukia got hit, but this is an Ichigo blitz as well. We understand that, right? Or do we think Ichigo is just going to let Rukia get attacked and not do anything? No, he couldn't stop him. He could not stop him. Mind you, it was base Ichigo that went toe-to-toe with Kenpachi. Yes, Kenpachi was suppressing himself subconsciously. It's still impressive. It was base Ichigo. Wait, no. He didn't. I was going to say he made Byakuya use Bankai, but he didn't. Byakuya made him use Bankai, so. Nonetheless, base Ichigo after the Soul Society is a threat. He dashes at Grimmjow. Oh, Edelrod versus Ikaku. This is one of my favorite fights. But I want to get to whatchamacallit. Ichigo versus Boy. For a moment in time. Okay, damn, bro. How many times do I gotta do that? And then, like, the most unfair thing about this fight is going to be that the Espada have access to regeneration. Some of them 5 times to 10 times amps, different hacks abilities. This isn't to say that the Akatsuki don't have hacks, but it's just like, how are they supposed to compete? I really don't understand how they're supposed to compete. But I guess it's my job to argue why they can. Or can't. I can be honest. Okay. Oh, no? Not fighting yet? Cool. Ikaku backstory. Renji. Cool. So when do we get to Ichigo? Okay, I was just here. Mind you, real quick, Zabimaru, or Hihio Zabimaru, as it is in this state at least. Oh my gosh. Hihio Zabimaru is strong enough to move Byakuya. This damn guy, Ilfort Grantz, he can just stop it. He can just stop. In Bleach, it doesn't really matter how strong you are physically. Physical stats, really not all that important. Reiatsu. Don't get me wrong, they have their place. Physical stats, that is. It can be converted. Cool. Yes. But unless you're putting sufficient spirit power behind it, he's not moving that much. Barely anything. And then a blitz. Maybe I should do the Akatsuki versus Grimmjow's invasion force. The Akatsuki versus Ilfort Grantz, Grimmjow himself, Eterad, Xiaolong, and D-Roy. Maybe I should do that. Because Kuribo likes to talk about Konan fighting Stark. So maybe I should do the Akatsuki versus Ururu. Ururu has some good scaling. This is great scaling. This is great scaling. She hurts Ilfort Grantz before Renji does. Renji is in Bankai. So she is at least as strong as 20% Renji. Though stronger, because she can do this much damage to him. Choking the shit out of him. Maybe I should do Ururu versus the Akatsuki. Let me stop. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, let me check on chat. What are we talking about? Also, Giselle Guayel beats like 45% of Dragon Ball Super. I don't think her hacks would scale up to them, to be honest. Her thing works off of people that have low or weak spirit energy or spiritual pressure. Dragon Ball's cast works off ki, granted. But ki should have some spiritual elements to it, if I'm not mistaken. I got to look up the specifics for ki. I don't really be scaling Dragon Ball like that. But yeah. Maurice24 says only Nagato, Obito, and maybe Itachi, that is not dying, can do something versus the lower end of the Espada. Yeah, if they jump them, right? If Itachi, Obito, and Nagato and Obito jump like Aranyeto, then sure, they could probably beat him. Oh man, let me stop. You mean you're not letting Kuribo get in the way with the durability part? Akatsuki can scale well off of Gaara. Can they? You think they can? I don't think. See, like I don't like that. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably have to end up doing something similar to what Luna Ursa suggested, as far as the Akatsuki sharing feats. I'll probably have to do that, but it's really not my preferable thing to do. I like to keep it honest and consistent, but it would really help out with making the video go faster as far as like creation, not like the actual time, just creation. Because if they can share feats, I don't got to talk about each one specifically, but I don't mind doing that because I'm gonna need to do that anyway for my Akatsuki ranking video as well. So it is what it is. It'll get done eventually. It's just like which way do we want to go about doing it? Because yeah, Deidara is somewhat, well no, Deidara is slower than Heavy Sasuke. Definitely slower. Heavy Sasuke is relative to Itachi, which means Deidara is below Itachi and Sasuke in speed. Deidara's bombs can injure Curse Mark Sasuke to the degree that they blow off his wings. So his regular bombs can injure Sasuke himself. I mean, obviously so, right? Sasuke, yeah. Manda can survive Deidara's biggest bomb / explosion. The real question will be, what are we going to be using to scale off of Deidara's biggest explosion to get a AP value? What are we going to use for that? That's number one. Let's talk about Kisame. Kisame can fight Guy, Lee, Tenten, and Neji, trap them all in a water prism, and this is at 30% of his chakra, or a clone's chakra. Guy needs to go to the 6th or 7th gate to beat a 30% Kisame with his sword, or with the fake Samehada. But then when Guy fights Kisame again, he again goes to the 6th or 7th gate, and this time without Samehada, Guy still beats him. So that's kind of weird too. Guy beats Kisame both times, and one time it's Kisame with 30% of his chakra, the other time he has 100% of his chakra, and the results are still the same. The only difference is he didn't have his sword. So the question is, how much stronger is he with his sword? Would Guy have also beat him if he was able to fuse with Samehada? That's what we have to kind of look at. But aside from that, we also have to look at Kisame's base durability and the fact that one lariat that didn't even directly hit him, it hit his sword, was able to punch a hole through his chest. This is why I stand on if Grimmjow is able to kick Kisame in his chest, he breaks his shit in. Not because Killer Bee did it. Don't get me wrong. I would have said that even if that didn't happen. But it makes it even worse. The fact that we can know where Bee's lariat scales. We can find that out. It's not hard. We can find that out. We know where Bee's lariat scales. And the fact that it did that much damage to Kisame without hitting him directly, that's a problem. That's a problem. Getting to the other thing. Kisame fighting underwater. That's cool in Naruto. That's cool in Naruto. It's not gonna really work in Bleach. Not gonna really work. It's just not gonna work. Not the way he thinks it is, at least. We move on to Kakuzu. Who would we have Kakuzu fight? Noitora, Zamari, Grimmjow himself, Ulquiorra. We move on to Kakuzu. Kakuzu's attacks, large AoE. Pretty much all of them, except for his lightning jutsu, are large AoE. And we know his lightning jutsu is canceled out by a Raikiri from Kakashi. We know Kakashi's Raikiri scales to where? When we find that out, we'll know about how potent his lightning style jutsus are. Once we get that, find the AP of it, determine if that's going to be effective. Shocker, newsflash, spoiler, it's not going to be effective. Spoiler, it's not going to be effective. And then we move on to Kakuzu himself. Now, Noodles is the only person I've ever heard parade around Kakuzu is boxing with the two tails. We're going to dismantle that bullshit when we get there. We're going to dismantle it when we get there. He wasn't boxing with no two tails. Two tails raised its paw. Kakuzu raised both his hands, came into contact with it, then he is crushed immediately. Crushed immediately. No different than me slamming my hand on bubble wrap and then me using some force to crush the bubble wrap. Second question. What are the two tails' physicals? Why should we be impressed? Should I be impressed that Chad can flip a whole hollow? Should I be impressed that Chad can punch 5 hollows through a... Should I be impressed at that? Is that good? Is it going to help Kakuzu fight Noitora? Is it going to help him fight Zamari? Is him stopping the two tails paw that impressive to people? How strong is his two tails? Hidan. Do we even need to talk about Hidan? Do I need to go over Hidan? Do I need to say anything? He gets one shot by Zamari's Amore ability in the head, and now Hidan fights for the Espada. Literally what would happen. Who else am I forgetting? Did Sorcery kind of, did Kakuzu, did Hidan, did Deidara, Nagato. The question is, who do we want Nagato to fight? Do we want Nagato to fight Ulquiorra? Do we want Nagato to fight Stark? I think that would be really fun if Nagato fought Stark. Do we want Nagato to fight... Do we want Nagato to fight Zamari? I'd love to see how, or like his Amore ability interacting with the passive pain. I'd like to see that. Because when his mark's on you, on the head at least, it allows him to control all of your limbs. So at the very least, if you don't want to claim Zamari would be able to take over Pain's puppets, at the very least, a stalemate for who controls the body would happen. I mean, I could just argue Zamari scales higher, so therefore he would have control or preferential control. I could just argue that. But I'm willing to even say it's a stalemate, just based on the fact that the receivers are actually embedded in their bodies, and that's what kind of sends the messages to get the puppets moving or the corpses moving. But hey, I'm even willing to land on a stalemate. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Let's, again, talk about Pain. What does Pain have? He has less than building level explosives from Shirado. Not impressive. He has the animal path, which is good in Naruto. Not really going to be good in Bleach. I can't think of a single summoning within the series of Naruto that Pain has summoned that would be useful in Bleach. I can't think of a single one. What are the dogs going to do? What is the chameleon going to do? Nothing. He'll be able to sense him. What is the damn bird going to do that flies? What's it going to do? Nothing. What is the rhino going to do except get one shot? Nothing. Well, all these things. What is the crab going to do? Get one shot. Get the animal path out of here before I get mad. The human path. The human path can rip out souls. Well, shocker. They're already souls. But hold up, Ab-Stract. Didn't, on your last stream with the soul-based video, you talk about the Tamashi? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That's very true. We can bring that up too. I don't mind talking about it. We understand that the inner soul or the ethereal soul, the Tamashi, would be a one-to-one with their physicals, right? Because we understand that the Tamashi is what generates Reiraku. Reiraku permeates the Konpaku, and then the Konpaku releases that energy via spiritual pressure. So you're not pulling out the Tamashi unless you're overpowering the Tamashi. And to do that, you'd have to overpower the Reiatsu and then the Reiraku. You're not doing that. Not in Bleach, at least. And you're in Naruto, sure, but not in Bleach. So that's the animal path. That's Shirado. That's the human path. Absorption path. I said we'd give it to him. Let's give it to him. The absorption path will be able to absorb Setos. Sure. You know what we won't use? Setos. On him, at least. But that makes him a prime target to be picked off first. He's absorbing all of my Setos. But then the question becomes, if Stark fires 1,000 Setos at the same time, would he be able to absorb them? The answer is actually yes. Because he can absorb omnidirectionally. He can absorb in front of him, in back of him, to the side of him, over top of his head. He can absorb from all those angles. Now, here's a better question. What if Stark were to shoot a Seto right outside his absorption range at the ground, and it lifted him up and moved him? Would he keep absorbing? Hard to say. Just some food for thought. What I'm thinking about. Cool. Who else? Absorption path. King of Hell. Absorption path, King of Hell, Animal path, Shirado. Gendo. King of Hell. I didn't mention the King of Hell. King of Hell can revive all the paths. Let's give it to him. He revives 2 of them after Stark kills them. And Stark has to do it all over again. Well, it's a good thing the job is easy enough, because he does it all over again. And now we're left with Tendo Pain. We're left with Tendo, a.k.a. Yahiko. The boy who died to a kunai. The boy who ran out of kunai and actually died. You can actually look that up on Google. You can type in Nagato. You can type in Yahiko dies to a kunai, a regular kunai. And someone will probably say, well, he wasn't enhancing himself. And then I'll say, well, Nagato wasn't enhancing the kunai. So they cancel each other out. Because Yahiko wasn't enhancing himself, so that's why he was able to get stabbed. But hold up. It's not like Nagato was enhancing the kunai. Anyways, Tendo Pain. I used to think Tendo was cool. I used to think he was really good. And a lot of that came from his anime version fight with the Ninetales. I gave him way too much credit. When I went back and read it, he's not as impressive as I thought he would be. His 5 seconds his 5 second cooldown will literally be the reason he does not last 5 seconds. It will literally be the reason he does not last 5 seconds. I'm not even joking with you guys. let's say Stark shoots a Seto at him. Seto. And he does his push. There's another Seto already coming. And he's not fast enough to dodge it. So he gets vaporized. He gets vaporized. Who's last on our list? Itachi? He the last one? Obito, right? Obito or Itachi. One of the two. Now, Itachi does have the best kit, right? He has the best kit. We'll give him that. Amaterasu, Totsuka Blade, Yata Mirror, Susanoo. All good things. All good things. If it was any other verse, or I'll say if it wasn't this verse he was dealing with, a lot of those things would probably help him win. By the way, in this series, we just casually block swords without even looking surprised. We're emotionless when we block blades. We don't care. And then we just flex our aura and then just push you off. It's literally what happens. It's literally what happens in the series. I can't wait to give this Naruto presentation. The chakra scaling problem. I can't wait to do it because this example right here is something we're going to go over, and it's something Naruto is missing. Since I'm not going to go over any slides, I don't mind saying this here. I don't mind saying it right now. One of the key things that Naruto is missing, aside from not scaling to their techniques, Naruto never shows, the series that is, not the character, Naruto the series never shows to outscale the previous versions of themselves. That is to say, with this example, right? With this example, we have Ichigo versus Grimmjow. Ichigo goes to slice Grimmjow. Grimmjow casually, effortlessly, not trying, raises his arm and stops Ichigo's sword. Ichigo's sword, at this point, would probably be around city block level. No, I'm sorry. Eterard city block level. His sword is higher than city block level. Excuse me. His sword is higher than city block level. And Michael, this is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing for Zangetsu, by the way. You already know what's going on. Luna Ursa, y'all, those who are in the Discord, you know what's going on. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing for Zangetsu, to get the actual AP of what Grimmjow is making contact with. Right? So, what Naruto is missing is examples and interactions where characters outscale the previous versions of themselves. In this interaction, Ichigo is not able to wound Grimmjow in base. He's not able to wound him in base. But let's see if this just extends to base. He goes Bankai. We'll probably have to skip a few. Hold up. All right. She beats Nakim. He beats Xiaolong. Bet. Should be the next one. Okay. Here we go. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Here we go. He goes Bankai. He couldn't wound him in base. Let's see if he can injure him with his sword in Bankai. Mind you, that same Zangetsu got smaller, which means a higher AP for the fucking blade. That's what that means. It got smaller, which means all the energy that was in that big Zangetsu now gets compressed into the little itty bitty samurai sword. Cool, let's go. By the way, they don't have casual feats of even uprooting the territory in Naruto. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. This isn't a Naruto shit show, right? Anyways, like I said, in Bleach we just catch swords. We don't really have problems with that. So no needles, no kunai, no chakra receivers, no Samehada, no Kusanagi blade. We catch swords over here. Yeah, we do. Right? So we catch his sword. Then we throw him like a ragdoll. Throw him all across the town. Cool. We also parry swords. We parry swords with our bare skin over here because that's what we can do. That's what we can do as the Espada. Cool. So we see that Ichigo's base and Ichigo's Bankai cannot do anything to Grimmjow with his sword strikes. Cool. Let's go back to one of the panels that I was at before. Let's go back. 230, 230, 232, 230. Yeah. Let's go back. Okay, not here. Hold up. Don't get ahead of me. Hold up now. Hold up. 234, 235. Why are we going up? Why are we going up? It's okay. I'll do it myself. We need about 232. Okay, that was a terrible guess on my end. Not 232. Terrible guess on my end. We need about 225. Where's 225? Don't forget the point. The point is, in Naruto, they never show scaling above their techniques with their previous selves. I think I said that wrong, but I think you guys get the point. Anyways, just remember that. Okay. Now I'm way too far back. Man, I'm gonna have to end up getting this app because this is actually crazy. The fact that I have to do this every time, it's crazy. 225 has to be like 230. No, 229 probably. Okay, it's not 229. That's interesting. Would have thought it'd been 229. All right, I think I was closer before. Yeah, 231. Okay, cool. Here we go. Sorry about that. 231. So we previously just saw Ichigo in base and Ichigo in Bankai could not harm Grimmjow with his sword. What the Naruto series is missing are instances like this. Let's go down. So after Ichigo's been training, he trains for a month. He powers up with holification. He comes out and what do you know? What does Grimmjow have to do, folks? He has to draw his sword. Grimmjow has to draw his sword. Do we know why that's important? Do we know the narrative implications? Do we know the scaling implications of the necessity to draw your sword in Bleach? Would you bet that I could find consistency that Espada and Arrancar do not draw their swords unless they have to? Would you bet that with me? Would you like to do that? Does anyone want to take that bet? Does anyone want to take the bet that I cannot find at least 4 instances, at least 4, where Arrancar do not draw their swords unless they need to? Would anyone like to do that with me? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Anyways, Ichigo attacking Grimmjow and Grimmjow blocking with his sword tells us, and see, now I'm dipping into my presentation and I'm also dipping into the AAAP scaling of Bleach, so you're welcome tonight. Thank Kuribo, by the way. Grimmjow drawing his sword tells us that his sword strikes in holification plus Bankai scale above his previous sword strikes in base and his Getsugas. Ooh. His sword strikes now scale above his previous ones in Bankai and in base, but also above his special technique. Ooh. This is what Naruto is missing. Naruto does not have an instance where character A tanks the Chidori, but then character A is getting hurt by the same person who they tanked it with, their physicals. They don't have an instance like that. This is my gripe with the series, by the way. I really wish they did, because it would make it a lot more fun to talk about for me, at least. But they don't have instances like that. We don't see it. Now, if there is an instance like that, it's most likely in Boruto. I can probably think of maybe one instance. Maybe Momoshiki, maybe. I'd have to see. No, I don't even think Momoshiki, actually. I don't even think Momoshiki. Alright, let me check with chat. Only Nagato, Obito, and... Oh, yeah, I already read that. I already read that. Ab-Stract pulled up the meme idea on Discord. I found hilarious interview question from Kubo and had to make a meme. Hold up. Well, I want to know at least what you think, honestly, about Naruto durability being charitable to Kuribo. You want to know? Wait, is that question for me though, Luna Ursa? I'm so confused because I feel like you know exactly where I stand with Naruto's durability. Are you saying? Well, maybe I might have missed something too because I am kind of skipping around. Okay, she's asking Kuribo, what is Itachi's raw durability? City level? Okay, she's asking him. She also says, let's assume that everyone has a few... Oh, okay, I already read that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that was for Kuribo. Strongest Boruto villain Kisame could beat. Ooh. The strongest Boruto villain he could beat? Let me think about that. Boro. Well, no, he actually might be able to beat Boro. If he can drown him, he can beat him. The question is, would Kisame be able to beat him before he gets infected with the virus? That's the only question. Would he be able to beat him before he gets infected with the virus? Actually, no. Kisame could probably beat a lot of the Shinju trees. Because the Shinju trees have shit scaling, number one. Sarada is able to contend with him, and Sarada has shit scaling herself. The problem with Boruto is they literally just made the next generation able to fight everyone that Naruto and Sasuke can fight out of nowhere. I'm also not a fan of Himawari just being able to access the Nine Tails power and shoot Biju bombs. I was rewatching my read through, and I'm like, whoa, they gave her the ability to manifest a Biju bomb. You know Naruto had to train for that shit. You know he had to bleed for that. You know he almost lost his consciousness and soul for that power. And she's just out here, first time being taken over by Kurama, shooting off Biju bombs. How does that happen? Who wrote this? Whose idea was this? I guarantee it wasn't ran by Kishimoto. Ikimoto. Man, oh man. Without enhancements, if they have any. Because what would stop Grimmjow from using Sonito to then cut off their heads? Not a thing. Would Samehada enjoy eating a cat's chakra? That's a funny question. Ab-Stract, King Elizabeth II is One Piece king. Oh, and likely the closest thing to an air pressure merchant for One Piece with his king punch, aside from flying slashes and cloud splitting hockey feats. Oh yeah, you know what? My fault. Let me say this, because One Piece does have a share of air pressure feats. The ones I disagree with are the Rankyaku, Tempest Kicks. Any type of air pressure feat for One Piece that involves slashing, I really don't count those as air pressure feats anymore. Mainly because of Zalius' video that clarified air pressure feats. That's number one. But number two, they always seemed to act differently. Even when Zoro's fighting Kaku. He when Kaku's doing the air pressure kick slashes, Zoro's seeing them, he's slicing them, and he's parrying them and blocking them. I was like, yo, these are just energy. These are literally just energy waves. They're not really air pressure. They're not really air pressure. But no, One Piece definitely has its fair share of air pressure feats. Bleach is multiversal just like Dragon Ball is. I wouldn't take it that far in the Matrix. I wouldn't take it that far. Not mad at you though. If that's what you want to do, I'm behind you all day. Pause. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I'm behind you all day with that if that's where you want to take it. All right. A feat for Samehada. What is Kisame's durability? Oh, wait. What characters in Bleach do you have? Do you believe? Okay. A feat for Samehada. What is Kisame's durability? Lower than a... Well, we know Kisame thought he'd be ran through if Killer Bee's lightning enhanced pencil would hit him. We know that for a fact. We know Asuma can hurt him with his chakra blades. We know that for a fact. It's standard durability. He has the standard Naruto kit durability. He hasn't shown anything special. He hasn't shown anything significant. He has the standard Naruto kit durability. The only people we need to be talking about in terms of durability are people that can actually like utilize jutsu to enhance their durability. The moon feat is questionable. Since Old Man and Green Man destroyed illusions, Dragon Ball Earth still has a moon. Bro, Mugetsu gets the credit. I suggested the idea. Oh, did I give Mugetsu credit for something? Y'all ignoring the fact it was me. Oh, okay. Probably not me. Toshida Soy from Kenpachi Yama. Pretty much all the Gote 13, some lieutenants. All right. Side conversation. Okay, moving down. We got JJ in the chat. It was good, my distant cousin. It was good, JJ. How are you doing, bro? Konan getting packed up by Urudu. Yeah, she is actually. Yeah, Urudu's actually. Yeah, no, she's a threat. She was slapping up Ilfort Grantz, so. Sending a basic Uriah victim to fight their Primera Espada is foul work. It's disgusting work, Raggedy. It's disgusting work. I don't know what possessed Kuribo to say that. I don't know why he would fix his mouth to ever say Konan versus the Primera Espada. Doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't even make trolling sense. That's not even a good troll. That's like, wait, what? What do you say? Nah. Konan should be able to conjure thousands of paper bombs at once based on how hard she'd have to work. Oh, you think so? Interesting. Okay. Maybe for shits and giggles, I'd give her that feat. But the Espada can fly, so I mean, Konan should be able to conjure thousands of paper bombs at once based on how hard she'd have to work. I'd argue Obito's arms match his body's durability. It tanked a Rasengan from Lock Naruto. All right. Two things with that. One, we've seen Obito's arm get blown off by a Minato Rasengan. That Rasengan, calc-wise, is less than Naruto's Water Tower Rasengan, calc-wise. Now, if you want to scale Minato's to that, sure. But calc-wise, it is less. Number two, Naruto's Rasengan that hit Obito, I think you're talking about the one that exploded on him. I don't count so we also have to understand that the Rasengan and the Chidori are both energy-based physical attacks that rely on the person's physical movement and their thrust and their power behind it, right? If Sasuke just walks up and touches you with the Chidori, he's not going to do anything significant. Well, maybe he will because, their durability, but he's not going to kill you, right? It's the fact that he needs the run and start, he needs the gather speed, and then the thrust. Same thing with the Rasengan, which is why Naruto a lot of the times will throw himself to get momentum for the Rasengan. So the Rasengan blowing up on Naruto within the the Rasengan blowing up on Obito within the Kameru dimension and busting his shoulder, I would not equate that to the actual force of the full Rasengan hitting Obito. We've only seen that with Minato. Also, we know the Hashirama cells are such that if Obito even punches a rock while he's not being enhanced by the Ghetto statue, he can break his goddamn arm. We also know that Obito's durability with his arm is such that he can literally just squeeze off his arm and kick it at Fu and Torine. That's not good either. Really bad, actually. We also understand that Obito got a paper bomb to the face and he was bleeding profusely. In fact, the mask probably took a large majority of the attack from him. So I don't know. Well, no, I do know, but I'd say no to that. Grid says, Shinigami, He tanks a Rasengan from KCM to Naruto with almost no injury. I think that's his best non-Jubi durability. See, I kind of just addressed that one, Grid. Let me know if you have any thoughts on what I just said about the Rasengan being pushed and the Rasengan exploding on him. Is there another instance he takes a Rasengan that I don't know about? Silver Tongue. Nice to have you in the chat. Nice to see you. Mom will have fire counter with her Zanpakutos. She's cooking Konan. I don't know why, like, we could do the lieutenants versus the Akatsuki. That might be a little closer because the lieutenants scale lower. That might be a little closer, honestly. Maybe I'll switch gears. Ab-Stract, do you think there's a possibility that some of the unrevealed Kido are water-based? We've seen all kinds of other elemental attacks. I do believe some of them would be water-based. I think it's only natural to think that, especially since most of them have been elemental. Raikoho's lightning-based. Sokatsu is fire-based. Sudden Sokatsu is fire-based. Tenran is wind-based. Shakaho, fire-based. Byakudai is lightning-based. Yeah. Konan, useless unless she playing support. If she was egg shot sidekick, she'd be god tier. Rangiku was not beating any of the Akatsuki. Rangiku was beating Hidan. She's beating Konan. She's giving Deidara a hard night. She's giving Sorcery a hard night. Konan isn't getting past Eterard, but that's because he's literally a Biju, lol. I mean, hey. Like, what do we think the Espada are? Just in human form, basically. We got Karma in the chat. What's good, Karma? Finally, I made it to one of these. My internet connection has been borderline non-existent. Oh, I feel for you, bro. I feel for you. I'm glad you could be here, though. I'm glad you made it, bro. Nice. Obito don't have good durability since he just phased through attacks. Ab-Stract, yo, you should scale the Bleach video game character Arturo Platudo. I don't know. What video game is he from? Grid says it just upscales from the other Rasengan feats like KCM Naruto slightly cracking the third Raikage's arm through his lightning armor and overpowering the Hell Stab's kinetic energy. Okay, so we're talking about Naruto's Rasengan upscaling from him being able to manipulate or move the Raikage's arm to himself. I mean, if you want to, I don't know. If you want to. The thing is this. Well, no, I'm not going to say the thing is this. I'll look more into that, which can harm the Eight Tails severely. The thing, all right, so I can say the thing is this for this. Harming the Eight Tails isn't impressive to me, Grid. Eight Tails is not impressive to me. Eight Tails can get harmed by Amaterasu, which has a terrible track record. Eight Tails can get harmed by Minato Basic Kunai. Eight Tails can get harmed by Sasuke Chidori Spear, cutting the tentacle in half. Eight Tails can get harmed by its own Biju Bomb, flicked back at itself. Eight Tails can get harmed by Five Tails. Then we have to, like I said, go over the Biju scaling. Not impressive. Eterard is stopping Konan. Of course he is. All right. Grid says Deidara's bomb's not even crystallizing the smallest bit of Gaara's sin is low-key fun. I mean, like, I didn't even get into the science of that. Yeah, no, it's not having any effect on Gaara's sin at all. I agree their durability surpasses that of Seto's from the weakest of Menos Grandes. Whose durability surpasses that of Seto's? I mean, the Clays would get countered by Seto's. I agree. Their durability surpasses that of the Seto's from the weakest of Menos Grandes. Manda is town level at best, yet he's stronger than Gamabunta. Okay. Oh no, I went all the way down. I didn't mean to do that. Shit, where was I? Hold up. Where was I, bro? I want to go back to that. Where was I? Hey, we got Andy Pulex, aka 4LPYX. Where you been at, bro? Where you been at? Nice to see you. Yo, by the way, this is not closed, bro. Nah, facts. Of course not. Ab-Stract, please switch to Brave browser, bro. What is that? Send me the link. I'm trying to. I gotta scroll up. Give me a second, y'all. I gotta scroll up. Where were we? I'm so far behind. Okay, here we are. His resurrection ability, anyone he kills has their Reiatsu permanently added to his own. Oh shit, that's fire. That's almost, I was about to say, is that Aranyeto? That's fire. I like that. Okay. I agree that they're, okay, yeah. Manda is town level at best. You know what? You know what I could do for that? What I can try and find out is how strong One Tails is, because we know at least One Tails and Gamabunta are relative, and we know Gamabunta and Manda are, they can fight each other. If you want to say Manda's stronger, fine, but I would say they're more relative than one being stronger than the other. I can try and find it that way, but even that's going to be hard because, like, the most impressive thing about the Bijus is the Biju Bomb. And the Biju Bomb outscales the Biju's physicals by a lot. Like, Eight Tails was fucked up by his own Biju Bomb to a high clip, to a high degree. That wasn't a good showing for Eight Tails. Not at all. Anyways, that's going to be the hard part. Finding where these Biju actually scale in physicals and stuff like that. Town level, like total energy, sure, but their AP, like, would you argue? Would you be able to, like? Would you argue One Tails' paw is hurting? I don't know, Dordoni. I don't think it is. I truly do not think it's hurting Dordoni. Manda is Kage level. He's the strongest. He might be. Grid says Tsunade was the one using the blade, but it was Tsunade using the blade. But it's still Gama's sword. The Sannin summoner stated to be equal, but Orochimaru's snakes clearly outperforms the other two in the three-way deadlock. Yeah, Manda was pretty much holding his own. Yeah, I can give you that. The best I can say for Kuribo is either multi-city block level or town level if we assume they're as durable. As durable as a giant toad physically. Yeah, right. Gaara loses the Toph. Change my mind. Baby Toph. I personally believe any attack Gaara lands on Toph, she loses. Unless Toph can bend with her mind. Grid says, why would we assume the Akatsuki on average to be on par with the Sannin summons? That doesn't work with the inverse Sannin lore. I agree with that. I agree with that line of logic as well. There's no way a single Akatsuki member has city level physicality. Their speed can be lightning timers. Frankly, we shouldn't get into speed. Both verses are ambiguously hypersonic. I'm willing to equalize speed because that at least makes it easier to talk about. Like, makes everything else easier to talk about. I don't mind that. Plus, this is just really just a fun video anyway to like get, So anyway, yeah. There's no way a single Akatsuki member has city level physicality. I agree with that. Gaara just has better defensive ability, durability, AoE, and AP. Grid, I'm doing my best. Luna Ursa is fighting, and Grid is like, no, we can't really do it like that. I'm not letting you get by. That's hilarious. Stuff like Itachi's higher end arsenal in Pain's ninjutsu would scale to the Sannin summons level, but the rest have no way of reaching those heights in universe. This is just true. Grid has not missed yet. This is why I like having him around. I said Grid, Rev, Kai, and I think one more person was going to be my four horsemen. There's one spot open. Let me stop. But yeah. Toph is faster than the Espada. Of course she is. She didn't got a Kuribo. Ursa says, Grid, their stats should be fucking large. To high building level. They scale above Sasuke, who can one-shot giant bears. So let's just give them building to large building relativistically. Oh, man. That Sasuke bare feet, bro. I'm gonna go back and look at that. It's like, let me ask you something. If I'm running at top speed, or if I start to run, and then a rock the size of my fist falls and hits me in the head, and I stop and I fall. Did the rock hit me with the same total force that I was running with? Did the rock hit me with the same total force of my body weight? Is the rock inflicting as much joules that I'm producing while I'm running? Because this is the Sasuke feat. The bear's running, it's charging at Karin. Sasuke kicks the bear on the head. Never mind it being directly on the head and that being where the fucking brain is and it being knocked out. Yes, Sasuke hurt the damn thing, but the question is like, okay, well, like, how much would he need to hurt it? And then is this impressive in the grand scheme of things? Is this impressive? What's the bear's durability? Like, what are we just gonna take a human-sized bear and scale it up and put everything in proportion and say this is what Sasuke did? If we're going to do that with the bear, then we're going to do the same thing with the hollows, except the hollows are 50 times bigger than the goddamn bear. And then it's not even fair at that point. But hey, I get what you're saying, Luna Ursa. I get what you're saying. Don't worry. I'm going to make it fun. We're going to have fun with it. Large building level attacks. Large building level physicals. You know what? That actually somewhat pans out. Somewhat. I'd be hard pressed to actually find a feat of that, but for the sake of moving the conversation forward, yeah. Toph is faster than the Espada, and Avatar speed is not even faster than low tiers and Hunter x Hunter. Zach says, correct me if I'm wrong, but the clones Szayelaporro makes are stronger than the ones they're copying, right? I don't think they're stronger. There isn't any evidence of them being stronger, but they are a 1-to-1 in power, at least. I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 in like what they're doing, but it's a 1-to-1 in power. Okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying with this shit. This is what Naruto's missing. Clear examples of them scaling above their previous selves, special attacks, or even physical attacks. Grids, Shinigami says, none of that shit from the Akatsuki bypasses the Espada's natural defenses. Bro, Hiedo is so underrated. Something, all journey scale above Jirobo / the sound floor. Peak abilities physically, given their ability to compete with low on chakra, which scales them above that town level feats Jirobo, if I remember correctly. It's funny that you say that, Grid, because that's literally what that's literally what Kuribo said to me. And that's just not how it works. Like I said, or like I was saying for Luna Ursa, I'm willing to entertain some of these things, but that's not how the scaling works. That's not how it works in Naruto. Let's go to Kuribo's comment real quick. Let's go to it real quick. No. Yeah. So this is when I asked him to show me a Kisame calc or scale for his physicals above city block level. This is what I asked him. He says, Kisame physically scales everything the Genin have in part 1. Let's stop right there. Does anyone believe Kisame is as fast as 5th Gate Lee? That's a feat that he has. That's a feat that a Genin has in part 1. Does anyone believe that? I certainly don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. What else did they do in part 1? Well, Gaara is able to transform into the Shukaku. Gaara's a Genin. Gaara is able to transform into the Shukaku and fire off wind blasts that trail through the entire forest. Kisame doesn't scale to that. Kisame does not scale to that. Jirobo was able to physically lift up Choji and then palm him several meters above himself. Kisame doesn't scale to that. Don't know where you would get that from. Don't know why you think just because he's stronger than them, aka a better ninja, misnomer, right? Just because he's stronger than them. And this is Kuribo. Kuribo, you're perfect. You're perfect. I talk about this in my presentation. I literally talk about this. I'm screenshotting this. You're perfect. I literally talk about this in my presentation. It's literally something I bring up. I say, just because a character is quote unquote stronger in Naruto, that does not mean you can affix to them feats that they did not perform. Why? Because everything is based on chakra control, your own innate abilities, your propensity towards certain techniques, and how you fight as a ninja overall. You're not going to see Choji moving at gate 5 Lee speed. You're not going to see that because that's not Choji's style. He doesn't fight like that. He doesn't move like that. He has no techniques to get him that fast. Just like you're not going to see Shino having the striking power of Sakura, of Tsunade, of Sasuke. You're not going to see that. Just like you're not going to see Hidan have neither of the two. So no, Kisame physically does not scale above everything that part 1 Genin did. That's not how it works. For the sake of this video, I will make some feats shareable to help with the time, so I can write the script faster and shit like that. Because it would be very tedious going over every person's individual feats in this. It'd be kind of tedious. So for the video, I'll do it. But no, they do not all just get every feat from everyone lower than them. That's not how it works. That's never been how it works. And I'm glad you said that, because this just goes to prove that I'm on the right track for the shit that I'm talking about. You say Asuma strikes at a bare minimum. Asuma strikes at a minimum. No, Asuma's strikes at a minimum scale above butterfly Choji mode. Are you insane? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What about Asuma strikes makes you believe that he scales to butterfly Choji at a bare minimum? The butterfly Choji that caught curse mark Jirobo's punch, no issue. Here's an interesting thing. There are attacks in this series that move you with no damage. I'll give you an example. People like to hype up Deidara flipping the 3 tails or the giant turtle, right? People like to hype that up. I've always been partial to taking that as him using a type of bomb that has more, let's say, force than actual explosive or like compactness or not concussiveness, but like, you know, more force than anything. So it has the force to move things and lift things up. I would never take that as an AP feat though. Like him flipping the turtle would use this much energy, and that's not really how it works. There are just some attacks that work like that. Jirobo's palm to Choji did no damage to Choji. No damage to Choji at all. So you saying the same curse mark Jirobo or the same Choji that caught curse mark Jirobo's punch, scale his punch. Let me see it. What's the calc? What did it do? What damage did it cause? What did it do to Choji? Not a thing. The same punches that could send giant Choji flying. Okay. Am I supposed to do something with that? Yeah, no. Because a ninja is quote unquote stronger or a better ninja does not mean they automatically get affixed the feats that people that are inferior to them can perform. That's not how it works. Okay. Now, where were we? That's a great durability feat. Feels like I've said that before. You might have. You probably did, knowing you. You can just also switch to the Brave browser. What is the Brave browser? So far, are Akatsuki beating anyone? I mean, their best chance is beating Aranyeto and hoping, and actually, yeah, their best chance is beating Aranyeto and damaging his fish tank. That's their best chance. Remember, Kid Gaara can be punched so hard his skin cracks the sand, but it still doesn't hurt him, so Toph isn't hurting the likes of Gaara. Why did Ichigo let Rukia die? Is he stupid? Like shit. They beat the Phantom Troop. Wait, do they? If we equalize stats, the Phantom Troop has a very good chance of beating the Akatsuki, but it's also vice versa. It could go either way, depending on how you do the matchup. Asuma Saratobi has the highest striking power among the Jonin at the time. He is officially labeled one of the strongest in the Land of Fire at the time. Okay. What would that do? First off, Asuma doesn't have a better striking feat than Guy. I'm going off feats. Guy has the best striking feat amongst the Jonin. Number one. That's number one. Number two, this sounds like it's coming from a data book because it's not stated in the manga. It's not stated by his own father. It's not stated amongst his peers. What's stated is he's the best hand-to-hand combatant. Or no, what's stated is he's the best at CQC, close quarters combat. That's what's stated. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Special Jonin who are explicitly inferior to real Jonin are able to push the sound floor to the brink and badly injure them while out of chakra, which would mean they're not spamming ninjutsu. Asuma's striking and durability scale where, though Kuribo, in values, we can understand town level, for example. Where is that stated? Good question. Please switch to Brave Browser, bro. Mugetsu, what is Brave Browser? How do I switch to it? I can go to Chrome. QuickTime, Brave. I'll look into it after stream. Okay, since strongest in Naruto doesn't refer to physical strength, only who is better shinobi, how can we deduce that it's talking about power and strength only? Thank you, Shinigami. Great question. Matter of fact, Ururu versus Naruto verse. Like shit. Okay, I'm so far behind. I gotta catch up. Let's just go with this, Shinigami. Asuma's above Kid Butterfly Choji, who is above Jirobo, who I think is calculated town level. This means Kuribo might think city level Akatsuki is valid. Ugh, like shit. Let's say they have city level durability and striking. Light speed on average. Bleach scales it at a bare minimum. Yeah. Grid says, why do you think Wekumundo is infinite? The statement of Ichigo and Ukuyota shaking Wekumundo is from the Hellverse novel, not canon. Burning the wall of something doesn't scale to it. Good question. You're doing great, Shinigami, says Luna Ursa. Shinigami says, that doesn't prove they used Curse Mark 2 to defeat the Special Jonin. We talk about this in the Kimimaru video a little bit. We talk about this. So the Sound 4, they're pressed for time, number one. They immediately all enter first state also. They're pressed for time, and they all immediately enter the first state. I think, do they go second? No, they do go second state because they say second state wears us out. Now, what's interesting, though, is that even though it's a 2v1, and even though they have Sasuke, it means neither one of the Special Jonin. Well, first off, let's look at the damage they took. None of them really took any damage. The most that happened to the Sound 4 was that they were tired and exhausted from fighting in stage 2. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that it took stage 2 to beat the Special Jonin. The Special Jonin were, for all intents and purposes, fucked up very badly. None of the Sound 4 had any critical or serious wounds or injuries. You can argue that they only went to stage 2 because they needed to speed up the timetables of when they got Sasuke to Orochimaru. Nothing definitively proves that they needed stage 2 to beat the Special Jonin. Nothing proves that. And I'll put it to you like this. Sakon was able to go toe-to-toe with Curse Mark's one Sasuke by himself, pretty much. Like, he reacted to him close range. He took Sasuke's attacks. Do you think either one of those two Special Jonin is beating Sasuke? Because I don't. Who was that? Genma and Raido's bum ass? I don't think they're beating Sasuke. You might argue Genma, because Genma's cool, but Genma has no scaling. Raido is definitely not beating Sasuke. He's trash. Garbage. Low tier. Low tier god. Alright. Where were we? Grid says, more AP is to say that Spirit Surfer with you era characters can damage the Dangai while there is no such concern presented to firing the Kato cannon into it and the members of Nobody movie. Okay, y'all have your own conversation. Michael says, best I can say for Kakuzu is that he seems to have the best physicals for the Akatsuki, at least where striking power is concerned. Kakuzu has the best physicals when it comes to ninjutsu, but Kisame was able to overpower Yamato's wood release. Literally no chakra, basically no chakra. And he pretty much broke right through it. That took a lot of physical strength. Kisame is also able to bear down on Asuma using two hands with just the tip of his sword. The tip of his sword. Do we know why that's impressive? This is why I like Kisame, inverse, right? Outside, I wouldn't even look his direction outside of his own verse. But inverse, I really do like Kisame. He's one of my favorite characters. We know why bearing down on the tip of the sword is. I don't gotta explain it, right? It's just the weight factor. There's less weight and there's less force or pressure at the end of the blade than closer to the blade. So he would have to be putting a tremendous amount of force from his hand going down to the tip to make Asuma drop his guard. That's incredible physical strength. Kakuzu is only physical strong from what I understand when he's using his jutsu. Best I can say. Best I can say for Kakuzu. Hold up. Okay. Did they already fight their counterparts? I think they did. Yeah, they already fought their counterparts. Okay, cool. So how those four bums get caught by a water prism always baffles me. Always baffled me. Never understood it. Makes no sense why Neji was caught by a water prism of all things. Okay, cool. So, another interesting thing. This clone has 30% of Kasame's chakra. The interesting thing about that, though, is not even interesting, right? The thing about that is this really only affects how many techniques he can do. Mind you, this Kisame is still how the real one would likely fight. Man, oh man, these four bums got caught by a water prison from clones. Lee can't open the gates. Oh my god, I can't, bro. So like Holly Bell solos the verse because she can't breathe underwater. She can't breathe and he can't move. So Holly Bell just solos the verse. Anyways. Best I can. Oh yeah, I read that. Dog Kuribo, if you're gonna be outrageous, give us the Negacion instead of scaling too. It's only fair because your verse is statement merchants and you know it. Not a single lightspeed feat. Yep. Naruto was boxing Bankai, Ichigo, Nail, and Kenpachi back to back. Yes, he was. And we gotta throw in Chad in there too, because Chad got off a free hit and Naruto wasn't even mad at him. Alright. Two Tails Paul equals Two Tails Bijou Bomb. For ignore the contradictions. Like shit, bro. Michael says, Beating up a worn down Ichigo isn't all that impressive, to be honest. No, not beating him up. I'll say this: just the fact that he can still just grab his sword, that's still impressive to me. Kuribo thinks Badagon's mist can get blown back by Shinra Tensei. I'm stick shit Kuribo. That's a funny one. Let me think about that. Would it get blown back by Shinra Tensei? I mean, I'm not mad at it. Let's give it to him. Why not? Let's give it to him. Just the bird to help Pain fly. The dog is going to tank. Oh, I'm so far behind. I mentioned that shit maybe an hour ago. Damn, I'm far. Let me scroll down, bro. Let me scroll down. Oh yeah, I'm really far. Okay. Yeah, all right. Let me get over here. What was the last thing I was like? Okay. Guy is faster than Lee proportionally, Kuribo, not overall. Fifth gate Guy and Lee are relative. In one filler, they literally have to blitz wooden dummies that scale to them. Firebending has absurd levels of raw power. Waterbending has the most broken sub-bending types. Airbending can enable flight and forced suffocation. Yeah, that's fire. Ursa says there's no explicit mechanism to scale them above other characters because the necessary minimums don't require all the characters to be relative in stats, unlike in Bleach and Dragon Ball. Yeah. Yep. Let's read that again for the chat. There's no explicit mechanism to scale them above other characters because the necessary minimums don't require all the characters be relative in stats. Luna Ursa. Be careful where you be saying. Don't be careful where you say that at. This is a safe place. This is a safe environment. There are people, individuals, who will burn you alive at the stake for saying such things about the Naruto verse. For saying such things. You said the necessary minimums don't require all their characters to be relative in stats. Blaspheming. You might as well be a Pharisee or a Sadducee, whatever they call them in the Bible. You know, you might as well be one of those. Yeah, but that is exactly correct. There are no mechanisms within the Naruto series that push vertical or horizontal scaling as far as durability, but also in terms of surpassing previous showings or even past showings of other characters. Right? And the thing I don't want to get confused is this. I'm not saying that the Rasengan, the Chidori, the Biju Bomb, I'm not saying none of these things aren't strong or can't get stronger. What I'm saying is, if these things do in fact get stronger, there's no point in progressively scaling them within the series if the characters themselves aren't ever going to survive these attacks. Because that would just mean that the attacks, let's go to my Kakashi example, right? Does younger Kakashi's Chidori hit with the same potency as older Kakashi's Chidori? Let's say it doesn't. Let's say his older self has higher potency. Now we ask the question, does it matter if it's still one-shotting everyone who was one-shotting years ago? Does it matter if he can still one-shot himself with his own Chidori? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. It'll matter when we talk about defenses, maybe. Sure, Susanoo, Gaara's Sand Armor, Diamond Morph, Rotation. Fuck it, throw that in there. It'll matter when we talk about certain defensive jutsus. But from person to person, if all we're saying is, well, time has passed, the technique got arbitrarily more stronger or more powerful, but the characters themselves haven't. Okay, so there's no point in the series where Kakashi hits with the total energy of his own Chidori, and we can actually prove that. So that doesn't happen, right? No, can't do that. Wait, well, since Ab-Stract won't answer, wait. Hold up. What I say, Kuribo? What I say, Shinigami? Let me go see. Let me scroll up real quick. Let me scroll up. Oh, Dr. Strangle says, aka Acolyte's Epilogue says, I don't really think air pressure feats are all that impressive. Really, bro? Why not? Tell me your opinion on that. Hey, take it easy, Michael. Nice always having you, bro. Always nice having you. The Hollow Ryatsu shit. I am still mad. Is that the argument I made for him? Part 2 of the Musashi arc for Bali is just announced and coming out this 18th. Nice. Konan was matching and blocking Fire style with her paper bomb. With her paper. Fire is not an answer to her. You mean Fire style of Jiraiya's level, but Fire style of Jiraiya's level hasn't been shown to be town level plus AP. Sorry. Lieutenant's is better matchup. Not everyone is captain level. I agree. Most characters in Naruto is building level. This is actually true. That's a factual statement. I'm sorry, it is. Naruto fans who watch my content, I'm sorry, that's just true. Animatrix is not lying. Most Naruto characters are building level. Not in AP. I'm really just talking about it. Well, they're building level in striking AP. Or lower. Striking AP. Their ninjutsu can get exponentially higher than that depending on how you scale the series. If you're scaling to the total energy, sure. Some of them even get to Continental with Biju bombs and stuff like that. If you're scaling the way we do over here, most of them fall within... that's a tough one too. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a tough one. Most of them would probably fall in the city block, maybe the town with their jutsus, but it depends. It really depends, bro. It's not cut and dry. It's not clean. It's not cut and dry at all. Ab-Stract. Here is one of the there's a half-rated spot for Akatsuki. I drew a lot of them. It's 3:31 a.m. Probably more by my time you see this. Okay, got you, bro. Got you. But anyway, what do you think of how Seto Dobly compares to Akatsuki's options to energy absorb? I think it's better than Kisame's since Nileo isn't Samehada. Well, so I'd say this. So we understand that Samehada actually has to stop and actually eat the chakra. Plus, Samehada can only take in so much. With Nell, we know that she can take in a full Seto as well as dish out her own Seto, and it'll be twice as strong as what she absorbed. So while Nell likely can't get any like stored energy from eating the Seto, the fact that it is herself that's taking it in, the fact that she is eating Noitoras and people that would outscale her like Dordonis, that tells us that she doesn't have the same restrictions as Samehada. Samehada can only eat, 4 tails at a time? We don't even know how much that is in chakra volume. We just know it's 4 tails at a time. Right? So, I mean, I'll say this. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. The only other thing I can think of is the Itachi's shield, but I don't think it's comparable to Seto Doble and wouldn't count for energy absorption. Correct, no. Yada Mirror, definitely not. But Pain's absorption path, sure, that one absorbs chakra and adds it, but Nelio can absorb energy attacks and then shoot them back by adding her own Seto on top of it. Yeah, so absorption path Pain's, I would say his is probably better only because it's omnidirectional, and it would be really hard for anyone to like launch multiple Seto at him and him be hurt by them. They'd have to blow up the ground or something like that. We got one good for defense and one for offensive. Right. Kino, you're scaling Bleach way too high, man. I volunteer as horseman. We got Zach as a horseman. I'm not one of your 4 horsemen. I'm insulted. After everything we've been through. Listen. How do I say this? The 4 horsemen. You know what? I don't. Because now I feel like I'm on the spot. Now I feel like I have to pick four horsemen. I'm not doing that. I reject that idea. No, I said what I said. I'm staying on it. Anyways, to be clear, I'm saying the strike from Sasuke is building level because it hurts the bear through its giant skull. Just being portrayed that way is all I fucking... I know. I got you. Listen, and I hate to be the guy that like points out everything, but that's just how I am. That's just how I scale. I got you, Ursa. All good. What chapter is this bear feat? The bear is definitely bigger than the early hollows. The early hollows, sure, but I'm talking about the ones that we see in Hueco Mundo. I'm talking about the Menos Grande. The bear feat happens in a flashback with Kadin. So you'll probably find it when Sasuke is recruiting Taka members or something like that. It's a flashback feat. It's a retroactive feat also. Kuribo thinks the series power clips itself implicitly. That's crazy. Guy is faster than Lee, and Kisame is fast enough to keep up with him. Alright, you do know base Guy isn't faster than 5th Gate Lee, right? Or do you not know that? Because Kakashi is Guy's rival, and Kakashi is tracking Lee with his Sharingan and calling him fast. I can only assume that when you're calling someone fast, they're fast. Obviously so, right? Guy is faster than Lee, proportionally Kuribo, not overall. Thank you. 5th Gate Guy and Lee are relative. Thank you. And one filler. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's where I read that from. Cool. Did I go back or something? I already read that. What happened? Okay, whatever. Where are we? Oh, shit. Oh, no, that's my eye. All right, real quick, before we get out of here, we're going to take a look at a legalistic argument against guidebooks. We're going to take a look at this. I've been meaning to read this. Let me catch up the chat first, though. Ab-Stract, check DMs, please. Oh, yeah, let me get that out the way for Moo. If I could take you to a paradise up above, and you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life would be a dream, sweetheart. Ooh. Oh, that's from JJ. Okay, I'll check that out. Nice. Okay, hold up. Oh. The Brave browser is fast, private, and secure web browser for PC, Mac. Okay. Oh. Ayo, Zach. Appreciate you, Brody. I'm going to definitely download that. Block ads, save data, and get way faster web pages just by switching your browser. Yes. Thank you, bro. God damn. You know how annoying it is? Triple clicking just to go one damn web page over. Oh, man. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to definitely use this. Now, let me check this out real quick. Question, Sensei. If you're given a chance, which squad would you enlist in? Kubo. It takes physical work to join any squad, but I can join as an illustrator. Question. Then you can join Squad 9 to work for Saturday Communication. Kuribo. Kubo. That would mean I will need to work as Shuhei's underling. I would rather avoid joining. What have I done to deserve this crap? Like shit. Yeah, man. Kubo got it out for Shuhei. No idea why, but it's hilarious. Yeah, I'll do this after stream. And I'll look into this guy, too. I'll look into him, too. But let me get into this legalistic... Oh, wait, where's that? Okay, yeah. Yeah, yo, Shinigami is going off, bro. Shinigami is going off. Hey, yo. Dr. Strangle says joules per centimeter cubed reduced to newtons per cubic centimeter. Centimeter squared. or Pascal's pressure. And when you orient your scaling around that, all damage propagation works in the same way air pressure works. Really? Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll look out for that. Not look out for that. I'll look into that is what I meant to say. I mean, I feel like you can scale Naruto to pain Shinra Tensei and how he destroyed the Leaf Village. Wait, let me read that again. You said, I feel like you can scale Naruto to Pain's Shinra Tensei and how he destroyed the Leaf Village. Okay, cool. Alright. The problem with the Shinra Tensei, one, is that it's a huge ass AoE. That's already a problem. Two, we can't actually see the size of the damage. Like, we know Pain's hands or his fingers or his palms are where the blast or the shockwave is coming from, but we actually can't see the actual attack itself. That's number two. Number three, the damage type is kind of non-existent. What Pain is doing, he's creating a shockwave at the center of where he's floating above, and it's moving all of the matter outward or forward, actually in all directions. What we see is all the buildings, all the people are still alive for the most part. No one, like, the thing is this. Pain's attack doesn't vaporize anything. It doesn't pulverize anything. It doesn't atomize anything. It doesn't, it kicks up dust. We can say it fragments. We can say it violently fragments, but it doesn't do anything crazy. It's not anything crazy. So scaling to the Shinra Tensei would really just be scaling to the fractions of force that the environment and people took. We also have to understand that, again, people survived this. Not everyone had a Katsuyu. Well, no, I think Tsunade did say, like, everyone has now been linked to Katsuyu, so maybe that protected them. But the thing is, the actual damage from Shinra Tensei isn't that impressive. It's a nice AoE feat. It's good for destroying villages, sure. Attacking a single person with Shinra Tensei is not a good idea. Nothing would really come of it. Shinigami says, and I was number one this whole time. Take that, Kuribo. What do you think of that? This is my perfect victory. That's right. I win. What are we about to look at? We're about to look at Dr. Strangle's, a.k.a. Acolyte's epilogue. His legalistic argument against guidebooks. If you can, at the end of the stream, pull up Arturo's page and just go through the powers and abilities section. We'll see. I'm trying to make this the last thing because I have to eat and then go to bed because it's already 9:13. The only reason I'm still on is because my wife isn't home yet to tell me to get off. But yeah, I use Firefox, but as a browser extension for search. Okay. Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Avatar, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter equals JJK. That's a tough one for me. I have Bleach right up there with Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. JJK is... Can I go higher? Can you go higher? I don't know. We really cannot scale through Shinra Tensei. I agree, yeah. The best feat in Avatar is Kyoshi splitting a chunk of an island. Take it easy, Shinigami. Have a good night. Okay, cool. Ab-Stract broke my heart. Hey man, don't feel heartbroken, bro. It's listen, I literally cannot pick. I literally cannot pick. Yeah, no, I really can't pick. I really can't pick. I'd have to extend the 4 horsemen to like the 5 or the 6 horsemen or something like that, honestly. Because 4 just wouldn't be fair. 4 just wouldn't be fair. Because Kai, Grid, Rev, Luna Ursa, Zack, Shinigami. There's more though. There's more. So maybe the 6. Maybe the 6. Maybe that'll work. But okay, let's get into this legalistic argument against guidebooks. I've been waiting to read this. Okay. Okay. A case study. As a case study, we will be using Naruto Databook 2 as an example. Nice. The cover and the spine of the book lists the name Masashi Kishimoto with no qualifier with it. To find any qualifiers, we have to turn to the back of the book. And this is presumably, or no, this is the back of the book. So we have Masashi Kishimoto, 2005. Nice. Where in the second section it says author Masashi Kishimoto. Let me see. Author. Well, it doesn't say author, but it says Masashi Kishimoto. Let me see that. No. Okay. Okay, yeah. Masashi Kishimoto, 2005. And publishing person Kazuhiko Katashima. Does it say that? It might be in Japanese. I can't read it. But yeah. Kazuhiko Katashima and publishing house Shueisha Inc. Instead of arguing a normative definition of author, as this whole back page is an informal legal format, we will just look for the Japanese legal definitions. So Copyright Research and Information Center is a website that tracks and documents copyright law, including copyright law of Japan. Okay. The copyright law of Japan defines author as 1. In this act, the meanings of the terms set forth in the following items are as prescribed respectively in the items. 1 or I. Work means a creatively produced expression of thoughts or sentiments that falls within the literary, academic, artistic, or musical domain. Okay. Author means a person who creates a work. A person who creates a work. Because of the definition of work, the creates a work means creates a creativity produced expression of thoughts or sentiments that falls within, etc., etc. Basically, everything which ultimatum means any contribution to a work amounts to creating the work and therefore authorship. Oh, okay. I see what you're going for. So the fact that no matter what type of assistance you have in the creative process, if you helped create in any aspect, you're an author in the work. You're an author of the work as well. Very interesting. Which seems straightforward, but as always, it is the little stuff in the fine print that make law a profession. Correct. Derivative work means a work that a person creates by translating, composing, a musical arrangement, reformulating, dramatizing, making a cinematographic. I've never heard that word before. Maybe it was just supposed to be cinematographic adaptation of or otherwise adapting a pre-existing work. Joint work means a work created by two or more persons whose contributions to the work cannot be separated so as to allow each part of the work to be used independently. Interesting. Cool. The first section of the book, back page of the data book, lists a whole group of names with their job, i.e. the work they did on the book, like art direction, and the company they work for in parentheses after their names like Freiheit. Meaning the data book fits the definition of a joint and derivative work, which in the technical definition makes them all authors. Okay. It makes them all authors, but, and again, derivative work means a work that a person creates by translating, composing, a music. Okay, yeah, cool. So, authorship of a work made in the course of duty. 1. For work, except the work of computer programming, for a work that an employee of a corporation or other employee, hereafter in this article, such as corporation or other employees are referred to as corporation. Okay, yes, we understand that. Makes in the course of duty at the initiative of the corporation, and that the corporation makes public as a work of its own authorship. The author is the corporation, so long as it is not stipulated otherwise in a contract, in employment rules, or elsewhere at the time the work is made. Interesting. Okay. I might need to break that down because I was reading the parentheses as well. I'll read it again. Authorship of a work made in the course of duty. Okay. So, for a work that an employee of a corporation or other employee makes in the course of the duty at the initiative of the corporation, and that the corporation makes public as a work of its own authorship, The author is the corporation. Okay, gotcha. Kind of. Kind of. Basically meaning a joint derivative work will not have all the authors. Okay, because if the single author is the corporation... Okay. So he says, a joint derivative work will not have all the authors of the work attributed authorship unless contractually obligated to refer to them as authors. Oh, okay, I see. In our case, because they do not have to might be the case. All right. Dr. Strangle, I don't know if it's me or the writing. I could just be hungry and a little sleepy. Let me go slow. In our case, because they do not have to it, might be the case that Shueisha Inc. and Kazuhiko Katashima are contractually obligated to mention the name of the person, their job in the external company external to Shueisha that person worked for. Okay. So what's being said here, from my understanding, is that even if Kishimoto didn't work on a work, the fact that he's participated, they might have to affix his work to the work or something like that, is what I'm getting at least. In addition to, and more damningly, Article 19. Article 19. The author of a work has the right to decide whether to use the author's true name or pseudonym to indie, or to indicate. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's how you see the full thing. Okay. I was about to say the indie. I was like, okay, the indie. To indicate the name of the author on the original work or in connection with the work at the time it is made available or presented to the public, or to decide that the author's name will not be indicated in connection with that work. The same applies. Oh. Gotta go, guys. My wife's here.